midnight giving out all the gems. If you see that treat on camera, you know he just nailed the winner. Project 365, always winning the most. These are the best of the best. Project 365 hosts. Project 365 live free, everyday proper count. Giveaways, trading the rate trades way. Project. Project 365, trading live every day. Project 365, making money the rate trades way. We got Jake, Rich and Mr. Rate Trades, catching those level to levels, the mastermind, big brain, your main host with the most. Ripping the J's on stream, living the Puerto Rican dream. Got Mr. Mitch the freak with the Greeks, professor in the lab, making all of the reads. Writing that prescription, boy, you better listen. Lomeli, power hour, using ICT, finding FVGs and scalping away, hitting TP, shouting cold RT, run G with the evening vibes, busting that oil. NYM, Mr. Ohio, you could say that's him. Alan Zhang, Mr. Midnight, giving out all the gems. If you see that treat on camera, you know he just nailed the winner. Project 365, always winning the most. These are the best of the best. Project 365 hosts. Project 365 live free, everyday proper count. Giveaways, trading the rate trades way. Project. Project 365, trading live every day. Project 365, making money the rate trades way. We got Jake, Rich and Mr. Rate Trades, catching those level to levels, the mastermind, big brain, your main host with the most. Ripping the J's on stream, living the Puerto Rican dream. Got Mr. Mitch the freak with the Greeks, professor in the lab, making all of the reads. Writing that prescription, boy, you better listen. Lomeli, power hour, using ICT, finding FVGs and scalping away, hitting TP, shouting cold RT, run G with the evening vibes, busting that oil. NYM, Mr. Ohio, you could say that's him. Alan Zhang, Mr. Midnight, giving out all the gems. If you see that treat on camera, you know he just nailed the winner. Project 365, always winning the most. These are the best of the best. Project 365 hosts. Project 365 live free, everyday proper count. Giveaways, trading the rate trades way. Project. Project 365, trading live every day. Project 365, making money the rate trades way. We got Jake, Rich and Mr. Rate Trades, catching those level to levels, the mastermind, big brain, your main host with the most. Ripping the J's on stream, living the Puerto Rican dream. Got Mr. Mitch the freak with the Greeks, professor in the lab, making all of the reads. Writing that prescription, boy, you better listen. Lomeli, power hour, using ICT, finding FVGs and scalping away, hitting TP, shouting cold RT, run G with the evening vibes, busting that oil. NYM, Mr. Ohio, you could say that's him. Alan Zhang, Mr. Midnight, giving out all the gems. If you see that treat on camera, you know he just nailed the winner. Project 365, always winning the most. These are the best of the best. Project 365 hosts. Project 365 live free, everyday proper count. Giveaways, trading the rate trades way. Project. Project 365, trading live every day. Project 365, making money the rate trades way. We got Jake, Rich and Mr. Rate Trades, catching those level to levels, the mastermind, big brain, your main host with the most. Ripping the J's on stream, living the Puerto Rican dream. Got Mr. Mitch the freak with the Greeks, professor in the lab, making all of the reads. Writing that prescription, boy, you better listen. Lomeli, power hour, using ICT, finding FVGs and scalping away, hitting TP, shouting cold RT, run G with the evening vibes, busting that oil. NYM, Mr. Ohio, you could say that's him. Alan Zhang, Mr. Midnight, giving out all the gems. If you see that treat on camera, you know he just nailed the winner. Project 365, always winning the most. These are the best of the best. Project 365 hosts. Project 365 live free, everyday proper count. Giveaways, trading the rate trades way. Project. Project 365, trading live every day. Project 365, making money the rate trades way. We got Jake, Mitch and Mr. Rate Trades, catching those level to levels. The mastermind, big brain, your main host with the most. Ripping the J's on stream, living the Puerto Rican dream. Got Mr. Mitch Gamma, the freak with the Greeks. Professor in the lab, making all of the reads. Writing that prescription, boy, you better listen. Lomeli, power hour using ICT, finding FVGs and scalping away, hitting TP, shouting cold RT, run G with the evening vibes, busting that oil. NYM, Mr. Ohio, you could say that's him. Alan Zhang, Mr. Midnight, giving out all the gems. If you see that treat on camera, you know he just nailed the winner. Project 365, always winning the most. These are the best of the best. Project 365 hosts. Project 365 live free, everyday proper count. Giveaways, trading the rate trades way. Project. Project 365, trading live every day. Project 365, making money the rate trades way. We got Jake, Mitch and Mr. Rate Trades, catching those level to levels. The mastermind, big brain, your main host with the most. Ripping the J's on.
I'm actually pretty happy about this song. I'm quite proud of my AI slop tune. I actually know all the words now because I've heard it so many times. It's actually kind of pathetic, but I hum it to myself more than I should admit. All right. Too loud, he says. It's fine. We'll transition. We'll go another direction. It is a banger, Zacho. Am I wrong? I fucking love that song. I think I'm actually legitimately proud. And the fact that I typed that up in literally 2 minutes, I don't know. I'm a big fan. I will say it's kind of funny though, because I think on Lomeli's stream one day, I think his name was Armani, was telling that story about Thailand. And that song, that thing was fucking heat. That was hilarious about the lady boy that tried to kidnap him from a hospital. I have to find that song because that thing was legit. But anyway, how we doing, everybody? Got the regulars here. I see Vish and Cole, Praga, Zacho, Miggy, Slightly Toasted, Dominic De La Campa. What's up, Dominic? I think that's a new name. I don't recognize you, but thank you for being here all the same. What's up, Com? Luke? What's up, guys? Well. Another day, another dollar. Mr. Pop Giorgio. I fucking love Nick Papa Giorgio. Vegas Vacation lives in my brain forever. Jacob Newdorf. What's up, man? How we doing, guys? I just have this tiny for fun short on just to kind of show you guys how I would be playing this from like a range perspective. And then if we got some volatility and kept selling, kind of where the potentials are. So we'll go over that. But Zacho, yeah, this is the intraday position. So if you are new to the stream, I don't think you are. You probably know this. This is the intraday position that I take after this blue line, which is the significant kind of time of day after the London close. What's up, Paul? So after the London close takes place, I look at the intraday and try to figure out, okay, what is still there from the pre-market structure? What has changed? And has it changed so significantly to alter how I would look at the overall price action and the structure from the pre-market to kind of alter my plan in some way? Does it reaffirm something from the morning? Has it drastically shifted? Do I need to kind of pay attention to a particular range or strike a little bit more than I did in the morning? And I think today it's very obvious that that is the case. If you look at just the sheer totals of these positions relative to this morning, right? I think that is that's a big shift, is it not? I think that is a big change. So that is kind of what I would be looking at. Give me a second here, guys. Sorry. I got to turn something down a little bit. Put a little background music on. Hopefully that's not too loud for you guys. But these were tiny, tiny, tiny positions, but they were all red. So this big sell this morning should have been the least surprising thing possible. What caused the massive sell? This is what caused it, Cole. If you guys look at that pre-market plan, whether you're in the Discord or you saw it late on Instagram or YouTube, I mean, I was late getting up this morning, but this was the risk. Do you see a strong positional balance in here? I see one up here, and I see one way the fuck down here, right? But I do not see anything in between here that fills me full of warm and fuzzies saying, oh, we'll slow down there. This whole range was one giant tinderbox waiting to go off, right? So it's really, really important to know where the risk was on the day. We literally opened, we had to clear this and test this to get up here, and everything about up here said this should slow us down. I would have shorted that 10 out of 10 times. What I waited for was this trigger. So if you look at my short that I took this morning that I posted to Instagram, I took this short because this was like the only supportive block we should have held on to, at least right here. Once we hit this strike, all bets are off. You are looking for cascading selling down. Every strike that we hit that was red is just more selling, more selling, more selling, more selling. And why did we stop right about here? If you actually look on that Instagram video, I'm typing out in real time what I'm looking for and where I think we should go. Everything said we should have fallen through this low down to here. But what changed were these little bars right here went this way. So what they started doing is they had more people who were saying, I don't think we go any lower than this. Okay? And what happened is that is just that much more positioning and futures being purchased by market makers that are dampening the move. So let's look at 8:55 a.m. What happened to VIX? 8:55. We tried to test into 20. They absorbed the volatility. Any absorption of volatility and selling of volatility leads to short covering, which leads to V-shaped recoveries. And again, not to toot my own horn, if you guys were in the Discord, there's a very specific message in there, right? What did I say? I said, at that time, literally at 8:50. Let's get a little screenshot so you guys who aren't in the Discord can actually maybe see this. All right, let's do a little cam talk. Let's grab it. Let's grab the old screenshot-a-rooski. We'll do this instead. Just bear with me here, guys. I'm so sorry. I can see some people down here between 73.90 and 73.40 starting to sell puts, which was a sign I think this is petering out. Keep an eye on VIX. Snapback, rally shorts will accelerate this move back up through a 50-point range, potentially. I'm not banking on it, but if the selling pressure doesn't persist down here, we can go a lot further than you think. Be careful. I would want to see 73.60 because I'm being greedy. And then literally minutes later, what happened? Slingshot. Pew! What kind of a range is that? Is that a 50-point range thereabouts before we got a wick? How does it feel to be right? It feels like that. Fuck yeah. Both directions. Hercules. Ooh. Another one. I need to get a soundboard so I can do this shit. I need a DJ Khaled. Another one. Another day with a plan. Both directions. Calling out the spots. Patting my back. White boy dancing. What do you want? What do you want? Every fucking day. Hello? Do I need to do a fucking Jake karate thing? Let's do it. How about that? We want it. We want two-way trading every day. We want volatility. Someone's gonna bitch about it? Fuck you. Can you trade it or not? We can. We can. Come on. Let's go. All right. Read it. Read it. Be aware. The converse of that with the vol crush of any kind on this type of profile is a straight ripper susceptible to momentum back up the way we came. What happened? Is anyone else going to explain to you why and why a 50-point range was likely in that scenario? Guys. Just going to leave that there. Just a minute. Make sure you read it. Can you read it? Does it make sense? Come on now. Anyway, so that was that. And then what happened? Okay. We obviously had some shape at that time. Kind of still resistance, right? Then things shifted. So after the London close, hold on. London close, we were kind of bouncing around this area, but what does the positioning look like post London close? Where's the risk? Well, what do our shapes look like, guys? What are we looking like? Do I need to bring it out? If you've been here before, you know what's what. If you're not over something, you're under it. And if you're under it, where does it point you to? So right now, this is our situation. But the risk is where? The risk is now that we're in here, we can do some damage. We can slice through this and come to this support. And if volatility persists, we can go all the way back down to here to our strongest balance on the day. But if we don't break through down here, where are we going to go? Back up to 74.30. Hence the short with a wide range on 2 micros. I'm doing this just for visibility purposes. If you're a mean reversion trader, you're thinking we hold here and we're just going to chop around in this range and ultimately just dance around this 74.30 strike, right? Does that make sense? Do you see? Do you guys like shapes and colors? If you're a mean reversion person, you're probably drawing a line through this yesterday. You're looking at the prior day lows and you're like, why do we keep ranging around this number? You could have all manner of reasons, right? You could make all sorts of excuses for why we're doing this or that. Or you could use the data that's behind the moves and who's trading what and why they're trading it. That's what we do over at here, Team Gamma, Rake Trades Network. Every day. Let's see, what was our R today? Let's look at that R multiple on that short from this morning. And I didn't even get the best entry. I was patient. Had I not been patient. So that was only 3R. But the risk was actually this. So we'll be honest about it. 8.3 R trade. This one, if it works, obviously a little bit different. But if somehow we got to my ultimate target down here, right, on just a continued grindy sell, we'd get about a 5R trade with obviously a broader stop loss. But even if we said, no, we're not going to do that one, we're going to come back to here, that's still at least a 3.5R trade, which it looks like we might be on our way to. The green at 430 could have acted as support. No. Could, but it's just one strike. So, this is a good learning opportunity. Is that music too loud or is it just me? Jesus. Give me a second, guys. I'm sorry. There we go. That's a good question for whoever that was. Let me double check your name. Lou FX. If there is more of something that is more susceptible to volatility to expand, right? Those red bars, market makers are going with the momentum. So as we are selling down into this, do you think one position is stronger than the implied selling of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 potentially? Every one of these we've moved through is picking volatility up. If we go look at VIX right now, what do you think is happening? Up, 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 up. Lower we go, higher the VIX goes, the more volatility we're picking up, the more momentum we're picking up, the more market makers are selling futures. And now we might pause down here because collectively this whole thing, let's get our trusty arrow, the shape is pointing to there, and until we're down in this little range, that means the shape is technically supporting this whole structure. Okay, but as we move into this, we are likely to come down here. If we can't hold down through this, we are likely to bounce back up, potentially this direction. So hopefully that makes sense. But that is the whole thing about all of these red bars, guys. The second you get a strong bid, then this changes and then it wants to go back up and through it, right? It's all about the active flow. Passively speaking, this is supportive as long as you're over it. But the second you start moving into it and through it, market makers are going with you. That's the same thing that led to this ginormous bounce. That's why I called. You can cover a 50-point range like that. Did it happen? The snapback can go further than you think because this kind of vol crush and this profile is susceptible to momentum back up the same direction, right? That is the risk of negative gamma ranges. When you have negative gamma, you have momentum bidirectionally. But if you know where there is resistance, then you can take really great risk to reward trades and go ham. If I traded my normal size today and I was actually taking 2 to 3 minis, huge day. But I did not need to do that. I could size down, have tight risk, have outsized rewards on micros. Do you know how many days you would kill to take like a five micros and turn it into $2,000? It doesn't happen every day. So you have to know when to deploy that. When can I size down and be able to take advantage of something if it works out, if my thesis is strong? You could have easily, again, I was seriously so close to doing it, but it's like when you're working and I'm on work calls and I can't update things, that is my struggle in the Discord, is like taking the two-way trades. I'm managing a short. Do I really want to signal a potential counter trend long on MNQ? Not in that moment personally, no, because I was still looking for this continuation. We just didn't get it, but I did say why I didn't think we were going to go lower in that moment, why to watch for the bounce. And it was, again, because you can see some put sellers coming in between this range. So when I'm looking at this 73.90 down to my target, if people are starting to sell puts there, what does that mean inherently? It means they are market makers long. If I'm a customer and I'm selling puts to market makers, that's a lot more green bars filling in this range. So that's what would kind of slow things down. And again, if we are not into these strikes now, just like you can see here, we are holding over this one. Technically, as long as we are over it, market makers are not continuing to sell. These market makers are selling right now. This market maker is selling right now. But if we get some momentum back up through that range and you have enough active buying, we can certainly fly right back up and take my stop out, right? That is something that you would see. But I think right now we're kind of, again, the totality of the positions below here, this whole range, right? Everything we know down here that we are holding over, including this, if we're not into it, what is the natural thing that's going to happen? We're going to want to come back here and find some kind of balance. It's just, do we have enough active buying to now counter all of this resistance that is pointing us to a balance at the same place? Like, I don't know how much easier to make this for you guys. I mean, if I can draw a couple lines and you guys have any kind of pattern recognition at all, right? It's pretty easy to deduce. Why aren't we going somewhere? Well, this and this and this and this is selling. If I know this is selling until it's not, we're probably going to get stuck right about here now. But if somebody says, I've got enough buying to push through all of that pressure, and I know that this whole range can turn and burn with me if I get enough of it happening at once, where are we going to go? Probably up here. We'll probably stop around this area and start slowing down. All right. Hopefully that's making sense to you guys. Chickened out at break even due to how volatile it was moving. Yep. So this is what you watch for. So like right now, you could, I'm not endorsing this at all. If I was going to take a long, I would want to go from the bottom of the range where I know the support is the strongest, because a rejection from here now, let's say we get a big sell order all of a sudden at like 74.30, boom, we're probably going to go right back down, right? VIX is holding over 19. It's inherently a riskier trade to try to go long from here. If I was going long, I would want to do it from where I have like a bit of a stronger support, knowing that everything down here is kind of getting stronger as the day goes on, because that is the other part of this, right? The whole thing about the straddle too, I get a lot of questions on this. Let me get rid of all of these drawings. I know it gets busy. Is if I'm looking purely at, if I'm looking at just these little dotted ranges, right? This is a good example. So from the market open, we opened right here, 74.85 about. This was the expected range on the day coming in. We could go as high as 75.30 and as low as 75.40. Normally that range of the range that we are pricing in at the moment, it comes down because there's only so much time in the day. Options expire either in the money or out of the money. They're either worth something or they're worth nothing, right? When the market closes, it is either worth something or it is worth nothing, in the money or out of the money. So as the day keeps ticking along and that length of day gets shorter and shorter, this is the finish line. We have between right now and that blue line to move around. The market is telling you this dotted line, this turquoise one, whatever, blue, and this one is the current range. So all of these options are changing in value constantly between now and then, but it's a race to the finish, to be in the money or to be out of it. So it is currently pricing in a move of about 32-point range. It is doing that based on how likely or less likely it is that those options finish in the money. So anything beyond that is currently not really affecting us, right? It's either supporting you or it's not. So that's why when I draw these arrows, guys, I hope this makes sense. All of this up here is technically pressure down. Everything down here that we are not currently dealing with is pressure up, because of time. But the more it gets priced in, do you see where that line goes? The more range you have. So if we get down in here, that straddle price might grow because the volatility is growing, because now it's pricing in a bigger range. The bigger these positions are, the more strong they are as far as influence, because the more of it there is, the bigger it is, the more futures get traded around those positions, especially when time is running out. We just keep ticking closer and closer to this finish line. So it stands to reason the bigger, more influential positions, or the totality of everything that's out there that we can see and know exists, is influential inside of that range. So that is why it is helpful to know what the straddle price is at that moment. What of these positions are actively influential right now? And how does knowing what those positions are and how market makers have to hedge them, what is that telling me that I have for risk? What range can I trade in? I put it in the Discord, I think. We are either over this strike into the afternoon, testing for up here in about a 30-point range, or we are below it, testing down here. Do I think we can drop below this? It would depend on whether or not we aggressively sell through this big strike at 7,400. If that doesn't happen, I think you are pretty much just going to be bouncing around in here. You're either pinning this or this with an outside shot at pinning down here. But that would take a lot of volatility because, again, the clock is ticking. There's only so much time between us and this blue line for that to happen. So hopefully that makes sense to you guys. How often do I update the straddle? Yeah, it's moving. Right now it's probably closer to like 32, but it's an approximation, right? Like I'm not going to get hung up. Every time we drop, it's going to increase because of the volatility increase. But what actually makes it drop is the amount of time to expiration on the day, as well as if we just kind of start chopping around in a tighter range, it will start, kind of chewing itself up a little bit. It's like a vice grip. That's why I draw these arrows. Every little bit, right? It just keeps coming down. The ceiling keeps getting lower and lower. So the tighter a range that you chop around in, the more the straddle is going to decay, right? Which means the more influential the local prices are. So then I'm only worried about anything that falls inside of those blue lines right now. These are the big prices to worry about. This one, this one, this one, and this one, right? Like this range is the range. We are stuck in here. Just imagine not having that information. Imagine trading without that. I don't know. It's a few days in a row now. Catching huge moves, knowing when to trim, knowing where to bounce, knowing where to manage risk. Yeah. You either get it or you don't. Hopefully every day you can kind of pick things up little by little and get there by attending these streams. And if you want more hands-on guidance, scan the QR code. Go check out my WAP page. You can join me and do some one-on-one mentoring. Or just follow me in the Discord and join the rest of us in there, where you get the pre-market plan and all that fun stuff. Let's see here. Does VS3D have NQ positions? Cole, no. And I've covered this as well. There's a lot of, I think, very misleading information out there around the correlation of these assets, okay? The big thing is that, excuse me, the reason why this is valuable is because it's SPX and ES are so liquid, meaning they are so tightly correlated, right? That the amount of action around that is what can drive the market, okay? If you are taking something like SPY and trying to correlate that with ES, it does not make sense on the surface. Why? Because SPY is an ETF. SPX is a representation of the entire S&P 500 as an index, right? It is fundamentally different in how it's managed. There's a reason that SPX settles cash and SPY settles in shares. You do not own shares of SPX. You are buying the index at a value at that spot, right? Same thing with futures. You own a contract based on that number for that contract and when it expires. It's kind of in effect, it is an option, right? But SPY is completely different. You are buying a portion of a share representative of the S&P 500. How those are hedged are not even remotely the same thing. So if you were trading QQQ for NQ, it is not as tightly correlated, period. Point blank, end of story. NDX, you have a better argument, but NDX also isn't as liquid as SPX because SPX contains how much of a percent weighting of the biggest names in the NDX. So You can be an NQ fan all you want. I will trade MNQ and NQ. I just did it last week on these big drops, right? The biggest thing to remember is the S&P drives the boat. It is the market. NQ has a large weighting because of tech significance, but guess what? That's also represented in the S&P largely, right? S&P 500. So just get your mind right. You don't have to trade ES. You can go trade NQ all you want, but remember who is the market. There's zero debate. And if you're debating that, you're a fucking retard. So anyway, you can like trading an instrument, but just like know where your bread is buttered, all right? And that's the whole point of this. I don't know. I'm not trying to be a dick. I don't know everything. I'm just a guy. I know my little piece of the puzzle here, and I'm leveraging it and making all of my trading plans and decisions off of it. So I'm not trying to be an asshole and pick sides of any argument, but it's just accept the facts for what they are, right? And life will be much easier for you. What's up, Adam? Do I see us heading back to low of day? There is that potential. I don't know that you substantially move lower than low of day if you get there. Because, Randy, it's breadth. There is more than just the Mag 7, even though it is very heavily weighted. But these indexes represent different things. The Russell and the YM represent different sectors of the market. They are inherently different things. So Mag 7 can be weak, but there's also the idea of rotation. Let's say you were long the Mag 7 for how long? Semis in particular. You were long energy. You take your profits and you roll them out of that, and you diversify, and you buy into these other things that need to catch up that may have been lagging, right? That is how you get things where there's like a dispersion between, well, this is low, but this is high. How does that make sense? That is largely why. The weighting of those things matters. Obviously, it will be harder for an index to go up if a larger weighting portion of that index is down. But that is why you get rotation, sector rotation. So there you go. Matterman, how much would VIX have to increase to push us down past this 74.10, do you think? It's not necessarily just the VIX. It's the active flow. VIX is a representation of puts and calls on the index over the next 30 days. So you use that as like an approximation of what is the volatility of the market right now. Like how fearful are people? When we're in this regime where spot price moves down and VIX moves up, it's safe to say that there are more people buying put protection than they are buying calls. Okay? So as VIX goes up, it's basically saying people are speculating to the downside, buying protection. So it stands to reason that when you use the market maker information and you know where customers are buying puts, let's say, as these red bars, right? Are they speculating lower? And if active flow, like people bidding the market, either they are buying puts, or sorry, not buying puts, but they are actively selling more than they are actively buying on, market orders, right? Then market makers are accelerating that flow. Volatility continues to increase the lower you go. So if you know where that would happen, all you need to know is that there is enough people that are actively buying, and you have people passively buying from here to here, from here to here, from down here to here. All of this is passively propping us up. Then you add people actively buying, right? Market orders are bids. Then you're staying afloat. But the second that changes, you have this whole range to sell into. And if you sell through this, then maybe that's enough volatility to counter all of the passive and whatever active bidding might show up down here. So our range is literally from here to here, from here to here, from here to here. You're either over this and up here, you are under it and going down here. But right now this would represent there is not enough active selling to counter the passive buying. Diego, yeah, I mean, it's helpful to be aware of it. You know kind of what the risk is or not. Because that's the whole thing too, guys. These positions that you see here on from SPX that these market makers are holding, the same thing happens with VIX. There are VIX futures. There are VIX options. If you are a volatility hedger or a volatility trader, you represent that through buying volatility instruments. The VIX is one of them. If you think we are going to see some expansion in volatility, you're buying VIX calls. If I'm a market maker, that means I'm inherently short VIX calls. So all those people that are buying VIX futures and VIX calls, right? VIX is going to expand as we move into those areas, as market makers have to do what? Buy VIX futures as price rise, or as the VIX number goes up. Yes. So there you go. Yeah, Cole, I have in a very basic way, but I've got a little account that has, it literally trades like just a couple MES against it. It's been fruitful so far. A friend of mine, Banjo, also has been doing something similar. And so far it's been working for him, it looks like. There are ways of doing that. But, excuse me. The thing about algo-based trading, though, is everything it's coded, right? It's a rule. So even these big algos for these firms, high-frequency trading, like they're going to specific places and have, specific conditions, right? They have their triggers. But it's something that's coded, so it's firm. So you're susceptible to things that happen outside of those rules that you have to be careful with. How VIX options are hedged since they do not have underlying. There's the futures contract, man. You've got the front end of the vol structure and you got the back end. You've got short dated, you've got long dated. So every day that shifts. That's how you end up in like spot up, vol up regimes, right? So when we were looking back just a few weeks ago, when we were like, the market kept going higher, but VIX kept going higher too. It's because all the speculation just kept going higher and higher and higher. So that's like a snake eating its tail. The higher you go, the more VIX keeps remaining elevated. So then when you do get an actual sell, things can kind of go the other direction in a hurry. So it's a very risky proposition. But it's a reflection of kind of a different type of market. So anyway, guys, yeah, I mean, this is not I'm not trying to make a shit ton of money here. This is, if I would have done like even a normal 5 MNQ trade, this would be a lot different trade, right? This is more just to show you guys, you're basically taking a short saying, if I know where they have to go to finish higher, prove it to me. So after the London close, once we got stuck, why are we rejecting here? Because that is the representation of all this selling above us. If we were able to push through that, maybe you can get into this fishbony thing and get stuck in here somewhere around like 74.80, maybe high a day-ish, back towards the open, right? But prove it. I'm going to short and say I'm going to be wrong if they prove their strength to beat all of this stuff with how much time left on the day. So if we look right now, the straddle went from 35 points. That's what's on my chart. Now it is down to 28 points. So what is the range being priced in now? Uh-oh. I don't have a dealer long up here that's kind of helping me be magnetic. Now I'm stuck. This is my near-term ceiling or balance point. This is going to be influential as we move lower. If we move lower and the straddle increases because volatility increases, then it's going to start pricing in things a little bit lower, and then those will be influential. And the lower we can go. What's my bias now on QQQ? Asked Stockholm Explorer. I'm probably going to say intermediate bearish, range bound. I don't actually think we're going to like fall through the floor or anything, guys. Like we actually are in an overwhelmingly positive gamma regime for the next 150 points down. So I'm not inherently concerned about anything near term. I think, I don't know if it's still listed here. Probably not. Let's go back. Is this last Thursday? Let's see. This is last Wednesday, right? Yeah, last Wednesday. So I'm just going to do this quick. Coming in on the week, I was looking at that, and I was looking at this and saying, I think we trade in this range somewhere. I think we're going to this is where I think we're going to live. I think we're going to play in this sandbox, in this zone, and we're just going to build this out. And you're either protecting the lowest part of it, or you break back over this and resume your uptrend. But this is where I think we're going to live for a while. Coming into the week, that was my plan on Sunday. That's what I had targeted. If you guys are in the Discord, you can go back and look at that. I gave my kind of rationale there, but hopefully that's an answer for you on QQQ. I think we're range bound here for a bit. We've had some big earnings come out. I think there's all sorts of geopolitical stuff that's kind of being digested with rates, inflation, blah, 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 blah. And that's going to kind of have to bear itself out. But I think there's some caution. There's clearly some rotation going on in tech. And we'll see where we go. But if you were looking for like right now, I think we're sideways to down. Fishbony profiles like yesterday and today, generally volatile. Yeah, because it's not necessarily just volatile. It's kind of just like choppy because there's no consistency of range, right? There's no like, I can move from this zone to this zone. So to that point, when I drew those ranges just a few minutes ago, why do I do those on the profile? Why do I try to, because that's how I want to manage my risk. If I'm covering and holding this, where would I target to go? The top end of this range, because I see the ability to move in there. Why did I think if I get under this strike, I can go down here earlier in the day? Because I know that now that we have a stop clock that ends right here, there is less for me to move down and into this, because as time moves on and there's less time to expire on the day, all of this is actually getting stronger as opposed to weaker. It is bringing the floor up with it. If I am not down under there, it is passively supporting me. Just like this. If I'm not under this strike here at 74.10, let's say, it is supporting me until it's not. So there's not enough active selling saying go down there. And I know that all of this market positioning is passively just supporting me. So when it's fish bony, there's less confidence in that, right? But when I can see that there's a range that I can clearly trade in and build a thesis around and know what should happen as I move into or out of certain areas, I can define my risk. The same way that I said I will short rejections off this to here at least, from this range to this range. And if we get stuck under here, I'm looking for continuation down here. Fine. That's how I would leverage this. But even right now, you've got to think, there's how many people that were short here and here that could get squeezed back up through this range. That's why I said it can break out from here. If it does, I'll be wrong, but prove it to me. If I was trading real size, then I probably would have, trimmed on or put my stop right here to say, if it breaks up and beyond this, I don't want to be in this trade anymore. But I'm leaving this on so you guys can see like the basis of this trade. What do I see on NAS more bearish? I just talked about it. I'm not gonna delve into that. I mean, it's very obvious, right? We are sideways to down. It's easier to go back up at this point if you get a strong bid, right? It is easier in this range if you get the bid. If you don't, you are going here or down. So I would think the same applies on NASDAQ. But we're not really breaking below prior lows, right? Look at yesterday. Look at the low from Tuesday. We're kind of generally holding this area. But we also know what it would take to get lower, and it's going to take active selling paired with increased volatility. And then maybe, just maybe, you break under this spot and pin this lower balance here. But I'm ambivalent, right? I made my nice big short on the day. That's like, I don't even need to be in this trade at all. So I do think that there is the potential to get down here and finish lower, but we know what needs to happen. And what needs to happen is this probably needs to just keep holding over 19 and maybe getting higher, because that would represent more people speculating low, which means market makers are going to start selling futures if we do get some active selling below. But until that happens, we are being propped up, and we know where the intermediate floor of the day is and why the low of day currently is likely to continue being the low of day unless something changes there to force you down into this range. But if you know that all of this positioning, if you're not in it, is technically doing exactly what we can see it's doing, right? Don't get horny for more shorts. But right now, where my entry is actually kind of like where you would say this is where I don't want it to go past. But I know that the real ceiling right now, technically, is this kind of 74, 55, 60 area. I didn't predict it Guy outright, but if you go back and watch the pre-market plan, I pretty much told you like why I was super cautious coming in on the day, because this was the pre-market profile. And if I was looking at that, any selling from right here is just going to cascade. You sell from here, it's going to go, and every little bit of red you move into, there was not enough dealer longs on here to slow you down until you maybe got here. Right? And then at that time when I was holding my short to right here, I think about 850, we talked about it, why it was likely to bounce. Okay. Be aware of what comes with the vol crush of any kind. It's a straight ripper. You know, there's more people starting to sell puts down here between 73.90 and 40, which, as you can see, was this exact range. So this little area was filling in with more green, which was a sign volatility was going to be sold, which means, that's why I said 50-point pop. And I'm pretty sure 73.90, 50 points before we hit a rejection. There's 50 points. What more do you want? Lizard, what's your question, bro? Let me scroll up. These are 0 date. I don't care about 1 date when I trade 0 date. If I'm a day trader, I'm looking at today. I'm looking at what's influential now. All good. What's up, Kev? Got the Rake Trades crew up in here. I'm sure Wrong might be lurking. Maybe. He's more the strong silent type. Let's see. Got in on shorts. I might be cooked. Yeah, if you're shorting down here, I'm not endorsing that at all. You're shorting the hole. Don't do that. Let's see here. I appreciate that, Rag Guy. Ah! There he is. I fucking knew it. I was like, I bet Ron's in here. What's up, Miss K? What do I see on there? I put my pre-market plan on Instagram. It's in the Discord early. Instagram is like when I get to it, just to make sure that it gets there. And if somebody wants to come back and see like, hey, how did it work out versus what he said, they can see it there. But my obligation is first and foremost to the Discord people who pay to be in there. And I'll put that. Last night I fell asleep. I'm not going to be dishonest. But the profile last night would have been a huge amount of help, right? Just because it was so thin, I wouldn't have put much in it. And if you look at the extended hours probably, and you look at the pre-market profile, you know, we did kind of reject the biggest upside test a couple times, 2-3 times. But from the lows, we kind of like held kind of the danger zone here. So I think I might have taken one short maybe. I know somebody else did where they actually shorted this strike about here and risked that and kind of got down and took the trim. But like, I actually think I took one overnight trade last night. I think my entry was 75. So it was kind of right off the open, and I was looking for more. And I think I added, like, I was only in 3 MES. I was not convinced by this, but what I wanted was, if we sold last night, I wanted to see what happened around the 74 kind of 45, 50 area, thinking like, oh, we could give this whole thing back because of this profile. But that is the exact reason why when we gapped up on the open, I was ready to short at the bottom of this little pocket. So How I got there after talking about the Discord, I don't know. But that is what I do, is I post that to the Discord so you can trade it overnight if you have the conviction to. And then any updates I have, like what you see on the screen right here, you know, around that time, looking for the reversal potential. And again, this is what I tell people a lot when they say, oh, why don't you trade NQ? I will. Today, though, it was like, I'm writing this huge short. I know that it could bounce and reverse here. And if it does, it could go 50 points. But I'm just going to hold. I'm going to put my stop in a spot where I'm okay if I don't get the extension down to the strongest balance, right? The other thing, too, guys, is like, you'll see here, this says 72.65. Well, maybe you can't see it. 72.75. So where the broader positive gamma, which absorbs volatility regardless of these positions, because SPX and market makers are trading more than just 0 date. So the overall gamma regime is more than just the positions you see here. The majority of that positive gamma actually started about here. Okay. So when I said I was looking for 73.60, I just wanted like the start of this little structure to get tested. Not like I'm going for the biggest dealer long. Where is it in totality going to start slowing down? I would have been looking more in here on that initial short. I wanted continuation down to where I knew positive gamma would start rearing its head. That's where I would have been even more confident taking a long had we gotten down there, saying overall, not just today, the market is very positive gamma there. It's going to absorb this volatility and a very strong possibility of a reaction there. But the reason I called it out as we got down here was because I was starting to see these red bars going the other way. That's just a sign that people are like placing their bets. VIX is not going to break out beyond 20. So if we look at this morning, where did it go? It did not even break beyond 20. And when did that happen? Literally at the bottom is when they started doing that. You get people monetizing their puts. They call it short covering. That's an instant buy. Volatility comes down. When you have this negative range, just like I said in that little image, that is why you get V-shaped recoveries. If you think V-shaped recoveries are because the market just decided, fuck those bears and we're going the other way, it is because short covering starts those rallies. And depending on the environment, if it is conducive to that, market makers are now buying on the way back up. But it always starts with short covering. Anyone who tells you different's full of shit. Like when you can see it on the profile, you know what's happening. All these people down here who aren't going to go in the money, the second it starts bouncing, what are they doing? Close, close, close. The only way to close a short is to what? Buy, 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 which starts rally, rally, rally. It's my ditty. There you go. All right, I clearly have had too much caffeine. I got 9 minutes left on this stream. I don't know what else you guys want from me. I feel like we've covered our bases drastically over and over again. So if you're just joining and you're tuning in for Lomeli, make sure to go back and watch the stream. Caught a nice like 8.5 hour, I forget what the R trade was from this morning. Look at my Instagram, you can see that. I got to figure out how to speed up those trades like he does. I tried recording my trade quick and it's like a 7-minute long Instagram video of silence and just me like staring at the camera and typing notes out on the chart. So that stuff will get better for me if people want it. But I think most of the value for me is not you guys seeing my trades, but seeing like the plan of where's the risk, how can you come in on the day and formulate a plan for yourself based off of these profiles. If you want to learn how to read it more, scan the little code, join me in my WAP for a mentoring program. Otherwise, just hang out with us in the Discord and get those updates there. Got a little something for everybody. Since we're going back up over the middle now, does that change my current view? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Because the only thing I would be worried about is that there's enough market bidding to overcome all of what we know, which is that all of this stuff up here is selling down, which is why I put my stop here to say if they get above this, then maybe we extend a little higher. But everything about the fact we only have a couple hours left to close means it's going to be a lot harder to do that. And if they do it, it means that they got so much active bidding that they're going to send it all the way up through the range to like probably closer to up here, I would guess. because if they cover that, they should get the oomph of the momentum of market makers to go through these thinner positions and get pinned into the stronger positive correlation up top. But I think you have to kind of read what's in front of your face. And I think we're either going to chop and dance around this kind of balance because everything is pointing there essentially, or you get enough volatility to get kind of stuck down here and maybe pop below it and finish somewhere in this little range. But clock is ticking. Every minute that goes on that you're not selling down here, it's just firming up that much more. So yeah, I think as the straddle comes down and keeps chopping, you'll kind of find a balance here. If you do get a bid, maybe you get a lift, but if it fails to close up there, it's going to come back down to a balance spot. So that is what I would say with regards to that question, Agent. But yeah, got the short from 60 to 15. Very nice. Yeah, that, I mean, like I said, the best entry was up here. I was just impatient and wanted something on for the stream. But again, 2 MES, I'm not risking a whole lot. But any other day, if I was trading my normal size, that's a great trade. That's, you know, thousands of dollars on one ES or a couple of them. So I don't know. What do people want? Hopefully we're giving it to them. Yeah, no problem, Agent. Anyway, guys, that is probably going to do it for me here. We got 5 minutes, so we'll do a giveaway. Fuck it. We will do a 4-minute counter giveaway. I'll give you guys the go ahead here in a minute. These are 25K accounts. We're just going to give away one. I think Lomeli might do one on his, but I appreciate you guys being here and listening to me ramble on about this. Hopefully you got something out of it. Hopefully you got a little knowledge. I know you guys probably didn't enter the trade when the stream started, but I wouldn't have advised you to at that point anyway. But again, if you were taking counter longs, you know, you'd have to see this breakout, and you've already seen one rejection just a minute ago. So I do think we're just going to chop around in here. That's my base case for the afternoon. Any kind of a market bid, you've got some shorts that could probably get squeezed in a sense that maybe chased in late in this little territory to finish back higher towards like 74.70 to 80. It seems weird to say you would finish back at the open, but there is that potential. It's just going to have to be on the back of a really strong market bid. So if the market bids, you know, there is completely that potential to get there. It's just, I don't think we materially finish too much higher unless you do the business and cover that 74.60 area on ES. If you don't do that, you're going to fail back down to this 74.30, 25 kind of spot. So hopefully that much is clear. That is the current positioning. Could that change? Absolutely it could. But I think unless you see VIX like really ramping and getting back to 20 or over, I don't know that you're going to be flirting with like anything in this lower range down here. I think the story is probably, like I said, we drew these little zones. I think this is probably your best case. Best case outcome is literally to get all the way back to the open through this little spot here maybe. Let me draw that out. But I think in the intermediate term, it is where we are right now to down here. The only way you're getting through that is if you do it sooner than later and VIX really pops to maybe move down into here. But right now, the arrows tell the story. If you're not in it, it is supporting you. So if you're not below this, it's pointing you somewhere. And if you're not over this, it's pointing you back to here. So I think proof is in the pudding, as they say. All right, let's see here. We got 40 seconds left on the giveaway, guys. We'll go ahead and get that out. We'll pick a winner before I hand it off to Lomeli. Once again, my name is Mitch. Thank you guys for joining, however long you've been here. If you like what you see, make sure to like and subscribe if at all possible. That will just help us continue to grow the channel and do what we're doing. Get those giveaways out the door that Jake is so graciously able to provide us. And if you guys want to know more about me, work with me directly, you can either follow in the Discord on the little QR code there, or I'll put a little link in the chat here in a second before I sign off, and you can find out more about working with me one-on-one or just following along in the Discord. So however you're here, we are happy you are. We do this live every single day at Project 365 on stream. No hiding. Speaking of no hiding, hopefully this winner doesn't hide from us. Adam Sunshine. Adam, familiar name, but have you won before? Adam, what are we doing? Are you a prior winner? Hopefully not. Adam. You already won. All right. Thank you for telling me that. That is better than most would do, I'm sure, but I appreciate it nonetheless. All right. Let me go back. Thank you for being a stand-up dude, Adam. That is very kind. Let's pick another winner here, guys. As a result, Brian Cry. Why do I feel like you've won as well? Brian, are you in here? Can you tell me the truth? Are you a previous winner? I see a woo. That tells me no. Maybe I'm just remembering that your name is familiar. Brian, did you win before, or are you fresh? Awesome. All right, Brian, here's what I'm going to have you do. You can either scan that QR code or hit me up here. Where's the link? The Instagram. If you can message me on Instagram with a screenshot of your YouTube profile, we will go ahead and get you that 25K account. All right. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Congrats to Brian, the winner. I've got the links there if you guys are interested and you don't want to scan. If you're watching from your phone and you want more information, you got the links to Instagram and to the WAP for the Discord, and to me personally. So thank you again, guys, for being here and tuning in. Stay tuned in just a few more seconds for, yeah, Brian, go ahead. That's easier. Just shoot me a screenshot so I know it's you. I knew your name looked familiar. But yeah, stay tuned for Christian. We got Ron tonight, Alan after that, and then Jake in the morning. Watch the U.S. men's national team hopefully not get worked with their B squad in the World Cup. And we'll be back at it tomorrow for hopefully some more winning trades and some more guidance on market maker positioning if you are a Gamma geek. Thanks again, guys. Appreciate it. Check you later.
What's up, chat? Alright, we are live. Let's see. Letting people trickle in here. Chat, how's it going, chat? How's everyone doing? Everyone good? Hey, Captain. What's up? Letting people trickle in here before we get started. Hey, the GOAT. Bless Lomeli, good morning, afternoon. Slightly toasted. Good morning. Still morning here in California. Brother, Mona, or sister, I did not catch the move this morning. I think the morning sell-off was a little bit difficult to catch. But I did take some stabs, which I'll walk you guys through the stabs I took. Unfortunately, took 2 losses this morning. It is what it is. Happens. I think it's the second red trade or second red day this month for my AM session, right? So not the worst day. I managed myself, but let's see what we can get for PM, right? Let's see. The math, the myth, the legend, my guy. How's everyone doing, chat? Everyone, who caught the sell-off this morning? Who caught the sell-off this morning? Yo, Christian C, my guy. Eli. How's everyone doing? I went to the soccer game, Brazil versus Scotland, so took off trading for the morning and last night. Fuck yeah. Oh shit, you were at the Brazil game? How was the ambient, right, guy? Haven't traded, I caught it, not me. Yeah, I don't know how you would have caught that, to be honest. I think if you did catch it, even on the 1 minute, there was barely any pullbacks, right? Yo, Alex, my guy. You did? Fuck yeah. Yeah, if you caught that move, congrats. ASMR or what? I missed my entry in pre-market, getting coffee, and then Jennifer, that's happened to me a little too many times this over the course of the last 2 months. It happened once this month, and I think like twice last month. I got choked up on the reversals. I took it on the 1 hour. Fire. Yeah, it was let's see. Let's get straight into it because I want to make sure we don't miss any potential setups. So for PM session, we're currently up about 4.5 R for the week. So let's not mess this up. It's a little bit so I just basically drew this up here before popping in 5 minutes beforehand. So what I'm seeing is this, right? We are in this weekly bullish gap on ES, right? We came shy of a couple points from all-time high on NQ. We are delivering lower. Now, where do I think we will deliver to? I believe we will get down to the 7262, which is the the monthly gap entry, right? That level down there, or prior bars low. I think with downward momentum, we could get down there, especially after delivering away from this bullish gap here on the weekly. We traded up to premium of this leg, and now we are trading back lower, right? So I do think that if we take out this low, right, which we're currently on that Wix low, we could potentially see that 7262 level, right, getting tested. Maybe not this week, maybe next, but so long we again, like I mentioned yesterday on PM, so long we hold this 4 hour bearish gap here, I do see that trading down into, right? But going into today, it gets kind of tricky, right? Because ES took out the low, or prior bars low, NQ didn't, right? NQ took out the bearish fair value gap here, or not took it out, but traded into it. ES didn't, but left behind relative equal highs. So yeah, the 4 hour, again, the 4 hour looks a little bit interesting because we displaced lower, became points away from the low, right? Points away from the low while ES took the lows. So the 4 hours looking like it's going to close, in my opinion, very bearish, right? We are leaving behind this very large wick, almost half the bars. I wouldn't necessarily say it's very bearish, but it's definitely not a bullish indication, right? So that's good. We rejected the last up candle before the down move. We are definitely at OTE of the range of this leg. But again, we have relative equal highs above us, so that's a little concerning. NQ, of course, is the one on the 4 hour at least showing a little bit relative weakness between both assets. Now on the hourly went up to touch the last up candle before the down move, again, the order block, and came shy of the new day opening gap. We rejected prior week lows. And meanwhile, NQ traded into that bearish gap, and that's where we're currently sitting at, right? So I have draws down below us. So yes, I am indeed short. I don't know why it's long. Let's change that. I'm short, but I'm not going to be very I'm going to be very patient coming into today, given my morning session was red, and I don't want to mess this up, right? I don't want to mess this up. My read was right essentially from the morning, but I just couldn't catch a good entry. And now we're getting a pullback, essentially a potential lower high on the hourly and the 30-minute fair value gap here. Let's see. We have, 30-minute fair value gap here and deep in premium. We're trading back lower. We have divergence at the lows and at the highs. Divergence at the lows and at the highs. Structure on the 30-minute and 15-minute has been slightly bullish, I'd say. We're respecting the last down candle. We creating higher highs and higher lows, essentially, right? This was a potential higher low, higher high, potential higher low inside that order block. We inverted this this bearish gap here, and now we're trading right into it, right? So as of now, and then if we look at ES, however, ES is respecting that gap, and what's it called? Yeah, so we got divergence up here. We're respecting the gap. We went up to trade into the last up candle before the down move. So on the 15-minute, right? Last up candle, which is this one, right? It's an order block. So let's see, we tapped into, again, like I said, the hourly fair value gap. So now let's see, premium discount. Premium discount. Let's see, I'm trying to see what objective is. Excuse me. What objectives I would have underneath us. And I would say these lows, but these lows are right around premium, or sorry, discount. So let's set it there for now. Right. Set it there for now. Actual discount of the range would be this one. So let's go ahead and title it discount PD array. And let's see, how's the 5 minute looking now, right? Swing high to swing low. We traded up into a premium PD array, which is that 5 minute bearish gap here. We did invert the 15 minute, but we did also manage to close below this last down candle before the up move, right? So this was essentially a change in state on the 15 minute, aligned with the hourly fair value gap to the downside. The 4 hour, the new 4 hour candle opens in the next 20 minutes. The daily is looking, the daily low just got taken out on ES. Meanwhile, it didn't on NQ. Although this is where it gets tricky, chat, because there's relative equal highs above us on ES, right? And a bearish fair value gap that we could potentially trade up into. So this is what's making me very hesitant to, I guess, try anything, right? But let's take the wick. Let's take the hourly wick. Equilibrium. This is the hourly wick CE that we're currently in. There's big divergence right now currently between assets. 30 minute, 30 minute, 15 minute. I think so long we hold this general area, which is OTE of this leg and the 1 hour wick CE, I think we, and ES of course holds this bearish gap. I think ES does go for 7385, and if that does so, we can get some sort of entry. That would be nice. So long we hold again this bearish gap here. Let's move this to the left. So long we hold this bearish gap here. But if not, I'm hands off and we reassess, right? 5 minute, 1 minute. How's the 1 minute looking here? Yeah, not really liking price much, to be fair, but I am gonna be very patient. It gets tricky right now because we sold off about, what was it, chat, like 1,000 points, damn near 900 points, and I would argue that this movement here has not been the cleanest, right? So it becomes tough because we're still technically in this range, but I'm bearish biased. So I'm gonna wait and see how we react here. So technically on the hourly, I'm in my area of interest, right? That's enough for me. A bearish fair value gap inside of essentially a hourly invert fair value gap to the left of us over here. ES traded into deep premium. 30 minute fair value gap. 15 minute fair value gap. There's divergence at these highs. So in theory, if price really wants to go lower, price should leave this high unfilled. And if it doesn't, then my buy, I would be hands off essentially, right? Because I'm not reading the market how I should. So long NES can hold this bearish fair value gap here on ES, I think the draw is still lower. Let's see. There's no divergence here on the 5 minute. Let's see. So we're technically in my area of interest here. Like ideally I would have wanted price to hold this 15 minute bearish gap, but we didn't. We're still in premium of the range, right? So we're still technically, we got to change the state on the 15 minutes. So we're still technically looking good, especially how ES is looking here to the downside. But I want to make sure that I'm very patient today, right? I want to make sure I'm very patient and I'm not front running anything. So the change in state here for the 5 minute would be essentially here. Let's see. With the objective of the 462 level on NQ, that would be my draw, at least for an entry here. With the overall draw being priority lows. But do I see, chat, do I see today dumping, right? Taking a pause here and then dumping another 500 points. That's where it becomes tough, right? I think maybe PM session becomes more of a like an absorption type of day where we just kind of range. So that's what I'm kind of being very, very hesitant on because of how price is being delivered early into AM, right? I believe the down move was very difficult to catch, even if we zoom in on the 1 minute, right? Very, very difficult to catch. And now we've just kind of been in this similar range where I still think there's opportunity, but let's see. Premium. So we took out this internal high, retraced back into premium of this leg on ES. Let's see. So the 5 minute just opened here, 15 minute just closed. 15 minute closed very bearish here on ES. How's it looking here on we rejected the 1 hour CE, we rejected the 5 minute. So if we come back in, let's see, I'd be willing to give this a shot for about a 1.5 R. Let's see, I just want to see us close under that under this 15 minute invert. But let me do some quick numbers here. So, shit. Okay, still not in, doing some, I should have had this set up. Okay, waiting, I'm fingers on the trigger to try this short. Okay, I'm trying it. I'm trying it with the short stab down into the swing low here. So in shorts here. Let's see. TP. No, thank you. TP. Yeah. Sorry, chat. I'm here responding to my girlfriend. TP is the low-hanging fruit. Yeah, I'm gonna take the low-hanging fruit here. TP is 586 or 587, call it. Stop loss. We'll do 800. But let's see. I think the earlier entry could have been up here a little bit higher, but let's see how today plays out, chat. See if we can compound and add to the weekly profits. We're currently up 4.5R for the week on PM session. All right, let me set my orders now. 8 5 8 7. Let's see. Let's see, chat. We seem to be having a little bit more relative weakness on ES, so let's see if NQ can pick up here. NQ, this hourly candle is going to go from green to red. Let's see. We'll set an alert there. The next level on ES would be this. Let's set an alert at the next level at the 385. We went up the premium of the range after the 15-minute change in state. So let's see. Let's see if I'm gonna aim for the low-hanging fruit here, chat, which is that low, like I mentioned. Just given, yeah, I'll walk you guys through the trade I took in the morning. The morning trade I took, my first take was a red trade. My second take, I didn't aim for the low-hanging fruit, which had I done so, it would have played out. But yeah, a little mental error there on my end, which my overall focus coming into PM is literally just aim for the low-hanging fruit, and that's exactly what I'm doing. Because I guess, you know, technically this is discount of the range, which would give me a better R to R, but I'm gonna be strict and aim for the low-hanging fruit. See if we get there. We'll set an alert there, set an alert at the low of the day. Okay. Let's see, and then set an alert. Actually, that should be fine. Let's see, chat. So we technically got a 5-minute, you call it change in state here. 15 minutes. Let's see if this 1-minute order block respects. If it does, it's looking good. If it does, it's looking good, chat. What's up, chat? Not looking at chat just yet. A little locked in here. Let me see if this trade can go into profits here and see if we can add into the weekly profits, right? Currently up 4.5 R for PM lives. Let's see. I recently just got these yesterday, Olipop sodas. They're pretty good. I've been trying to cut back on the diet Cokes and diet Pepsis that are very, very addicting. So I found a match that fits slightly close to how the other ones taste. Let's see. Did the candle? No, it never went red. There's 8 minutes left on that 4-hour candle closure, essentially. We'll see how the next 4-hour candle opens. Maybe perhaps the next 4-hour has to come, or not has to, but wants to come up to this 4-hour bearish gap. And that's what drives us lower. So let's see. Let's see how price plays out here. This 4-hour candle on ES looks very weak. Very, very weak. It seems like we're having more weakness on ES rather than NQ as of now. There is 15 minutes, 7 minutes left on that next 15-minute candle. Let's see if that holds. If not, this should be a stop hit here. If that last 5 minute doesn't hold. Holy shit, that's a big 1 minute candle, man. The volatility has been crazy though. 1 minute candle, 50 points. Crazy. Let's see if this 1 minute inverts. If it does, it would be looking good, but otherwise this is not looking good. This 1 minute hasn't formed yet because it hasn't closed, but this 1 minute fair value got there. Yeah, if this takes me out, I'm gonna be very, very hands off for the remainder of the session. Just given where we are, chat. I mean, if you look at the 5 minute, this isn't really good high probability conditions, right? It's very rangy, although I do have a read right to the downside. It's still very rangy, and I'm not gonna keep shooting when conditions aren't favorable, right? So was willing to try a stab here for PM. Currently in drawdown, but let's see how it plays out. Let's see if this inverts. This inverts. Would want it to invert. If that inverts, let's see. What would the risk to reward here be? Let's see, chat. Let's see what happens today. Not looking so good as of now, but we're hanging in there, man. What's up? What's up, chat? Let's see. Are you short bias? Yes. Okay, got confused. Oh, got you. Yeah. What's up? What's up, Dougie? How's it going? Did you win one already? No, not yet. This is my first take. Yeah, I was doing the math to essentially copy trade. And yeah. Hey, Lomeli. Hey, Sammy. What would target on what would your target be on ES? On ES, the target would be the 385 level down here. How do you bounce back from mental errors? I try to not have it carry over to my next trade, right? I try to do my best to detach and just follow the system, essentially, right? As much as I want to keep over trading in the morning, I don't, because I know that by doing so, I'm shooting myself in the foot, right? So it just comes with time and experience, I think. So we're back at that hourly CE. Yeah, maybe I think Price was going to have to, what Price was going to want to do is tap into that 4-hour bearish gap here. That is going to form here in the next 2 minutes, which would essentially take me out, and that's okay. The next, what is it? 2 more minutes for that 4-hour candle open. Yeah, this is displacement move to the opposite side of my trade, which is no bueno. Watching this closely. That's for yourself? Yeah, no, I'm fine. Thank you. Let's see. Let's see. Literally a couple ticks away from the high. Couple ticks away. Yeah, I got tagged out there. Took a L. 0 for 1. And now I reassess, right? Gonna take a step back. And let the 4-hour candle open. I want to see the 4-hour candle open and see if we get the tap back into that 4-hour fair value gap, or we just want to keep bullshitting in this area. We got divergence at that swing high, so if we literally just took out that swing high to reverse, I'm gonna be hot. Let's see, back to chat. Let's see. Yes, I traded this morning price action. Brother, I lost my mind today, stabbing shorts, getting reversals in the morning. Did you make money? Fuck no, blew the evals. Wish I did. Your fundeds are good. Full port shorts in. How's everyone doing? Good, Philip B. How you doing? So how do I journal that R loss? What do you mean? What do you mean, how do you journal that R loss? Iran attacks cargo ships in. Let's go dump. My eval is green. I'm okay. I had an L earlier that opened. So like if I'm up 1.5 R for the week. My 0.5 up now. Yeah, essentially. Yeah. Essentially. And this here is literally just for PM session lives. Just for PM session live. It's not including my AM. Was considering moving my stop up to that swing point up here, which wouldn't really affect my risk at all, but we'll see if that was a good decision or a bad decision here. No, it does matter on size. Like you can't just take say risk 500 on one trade and call it 1R and then come back tomorrow and risk 250 and call that 1R. No, your R stays the same. So if you're risking 250 on the second day instead of 500, that's half R that you're risking, right? First time here, how do you trade, Lomeli? I trade ICT predominantly. I use fair value. Man, what the fuck, chat? What the fuck? Chat, what the fuck, man? No fucking way. Literally got ticked out to the fucking yeah, this is today's just not my day. I need to take a step back here. Fuck. Yeah, literally very to the tick. I got stopped at to the tick. I think my stop was slightly over the 800. It was if I were to show you guys my Tradeovate execution, it's literally at the fucking top. My stop was at 80. This was my stop. Oh my god. And I mid trade, I was like, I should probably move my stop up to that swing point, as it's a swing point on the 15-minute. But I was like, you know what? Let's just leave it there. But now I want to retry. But if I get stopped out on this one, I'm gonna be a little bit upset. Yeah, this is crazy. So we took at that internal low on ES. Let's see how we react there. So the 4-hour candle just opened. Yeah, I'm gonna be very hands off, but I'm very yeah, I'm gonna be very hands off. This is still, regardless, sloppy action, but it's a bummer. I literally got ticked out. Literally ticked out. Ticked out, which is fucking, it is what it is, man. I'm hands off. I'm waiting. The only way I would take another stab is if the 4-hour goes and taps into that high, and then we get big displacement to the downside. That's the only way I'd feel comfortable taking another stab. Yeah, if this just sells off and continues to TP, I'd be sitting cash for the remainder of the session. If this big displacement on the downside gets inverted, just not good conditions. I mean, shit, look at the 5-minute. But I am, man, I'm still kicking myself for placing the stop where I did. My finger was on the trigger to move it higher, but I didn't. And that's on me. And by moving it higher, I don't mean moving it to moving my stop lower just because I don't want to take the loss. No, it's because there was the swing high literally on the higher time frame that was literally a couple points away. It's funny, chat, because in these situations you want to see that stop loss get hit. So I'm here thinking, oh shit, come over and take this high out so I can feel good about myself. Yeah, overall, staying on the sidelines and waiting for that 4-hour to develop. I want to see the 4-hour. Even then, though, it's not probable conditions, which even if we do take this high out, which is the 4-hour fair value gap tap, we're deep in the range after ES took out the swing low. We have relative equal highs above us on ES. 30-minute, 15-minute. Just took out the low here on ES. So we keep getting divergence all over the place, right? This low got taken, so we got divergence here with ES. You got big displacement to the downside, which is now looking like it's gonna invert it. Yeah, this is Chop City. If we invert this, I wouldn't be surprised if we take out that swing high. News candle. Sometimes like this has trigger tilt for me before, for sure. Not this time though. Yeah, honestly, for me, if I remember like vividly, like it would happen quite often in my developing stages, which is when the trade would take me out, or the market would take me out just to see it play out again. That was my tilt inducive moments for me back in the day, right? And it wasn't taking the loss, it was just knowing that I was right, but just wanting to still be in the trade, right? And what I came to realize is like my stop was placed in the my stop, if it, first off, right, it made me realize that I need to place stops in areas of where if price gets to that area, my thesis is wrong, right? Second of all, if that gets hit, that was a plan. So why would I be upset? Sure, like, is it frustrating? Yes. But why would I be upset trading my plan knowing that in the long run, it'll make money? I kept shorting into Iranians for sure. I dragged it there too. Yeah, either way, it's moving back up now and makes me feel better. This is bad. Yeah, this action is up, down, up, down, up, down. You said, you know what? Smash the like at least giveaway will be worth it. Facts. Do you work out, Lomeli? Yeah, I do. I'm big into working out. I literally just came back from the gym right now. I traded my AM, took a little hour break, went to the gym, and now we're here. Now we're here. Yeah, at this point, I can see the 872 getting hit. Price took out that swing high. Let's see. I'm waiting for this high to get taken to see the reaction off this high. Let's go ahead and clean charts up here. Let's clean these dirty charts up. So if price does trade up there, we have a bearish 4-hour gap, which is not my favorite, but we still have a 4-hour gap. Yeah, today I think are not very good high probability environments, kind of with what I keep mentioning, right? ES took out the low and Q didn't. ES has relative equal highs sitting above us. Yeah, we just sold off aggressively to trade back into the range. So let's see, 4-hour fair value gap. We have a swing high, prior week low. Let's see, 30-minute, 15-minute. We'll see how we react off that high. And even then, though, if the hourly 4-hour gets there, I would essentially want to be waiting for the 15-minute to give us a displacement, change in state, just given the overall time frame, our multi-time frame analysis, right? I wouldn't be taking anything on the 1-minute, 5-minute. So for me, in order to actually consider taking it, I'd want to see, like, do this from the 15-minute, right? Maybe catch a potential lower high into maybe a swing low, maybe discount. And if by then, if that doesn't happen and we just stay in this range, market would close. So even then, if this were to happen, in my opinion, it's still not the highest quality trade setup given overall context, right? Now, if price wants to go up and take out the swing highs, then we displace, right? And we displace past these prior week lows, past the CE of the 4-hour gap, we get some sort of pullback. I would reassess and realign myself, understanding context, understanding that what price is doing, and align myself, right, to see if I could potentially catch and capitalize. So for now, staying hands off and waiting for more. I want to see more from price. So let's do cash sidelines. Update the banner there. Even then, ES is holding. ES is showing a lot more relative strength than NQ. I hope you guys see the divergence here. If we pop in the 15-minute, ES has been forming lower lows and lower highs, while NQ has been forming higher highs and higher lows. So that's very, it's very telling to the trader, right? It tells you that both assets are kind of diverging, And not only that, we're staying in a range. We have a big range, but we're up and down, up and down. So this take was under the idea that we would continue the sell-off, right? With my overall bias being short and order flow on the 15-minute being a little bit cleaner than it is on NQ, right? So if that didn't work, I told myself, okay, I'm gonna be patient and allow the 4-hour candle to open. And from there, right, wait and see what price wants to do. I'm gonna react based off of what price wants to do. I'm not gonna try to sit here and predict, right? We're here to react and take the best setups possible. But if nothing is really there, then we don't really do anything. So essentially, I would want something like this from the 4-hour. Let's see. Let's see if we can get that. These 5-minute charts are ugly as fuck. Yeah, yeah. Understanding context is huge. Traded pre-London and got a banger, went gym after. Hell yeah. I'm in EU. Fire, fire. Hot as fuck here in Europe. Bro, it's hot as fuck here in California. What up, Methodic? How's it going? Which is creating divergence. It's not that one is creating divergence, it's that they're diverging, right? They're trading opposite of each other. So it's not that one shirt. Like what I can tell you is that one is leading and one is lagging, right? Currently, ES is to the downside. It has relative strength compared relative to NQ, and vice versa. NQ has relative did I say that right? NQ has relative strength compared to ES. ES is the in this case the lagging asset if we're talking about bullish bias. If we're talking about bearish bias, right? NQ is the lagging asset. So we're using both of them to compare them, right? And see which one is we're getting as much information as we possibly can from both assets. Lomeli, how you doing, my man? Doing good, brother. How you doing? Honestly, it's been one of those days where you just this morning I should have been green, but I was red. I essentially just set and forget my orders. I went to the gym, and the low-hanging fruit that I should have taken on my second trade would have made up for the loser, but it didn't. Stop me out. So came back here, and yeah, we're 0 for 1. So it's nonetheless, right? We're healthy. We're pushing, but not as far as P&L wise, not the greatest. Just risk offs. Size small got OW. Won't be taking any PMs today. Capital preservation. But yeah, smart, brother. Smart. Yeah, but regardless, I'm still up on the week for both AM and PM, so that's what matters. But it's just you know what? It's still frustrating, right? Whenever you take a loss, for me at least, like I'm over it, right? But what's frustrating is that shoulda, coulda, woulda thought that I feel like we all have, right? Man, I should have taken TP at the low-hanging fruit. I should have maybe skipped the first trade. It wasn't the greatest. Maybe I should have. And that's where review comes in, because then in review, you sit down, you face whatever you think shoulda, coulda, woulda been, and yeah, you go about it that way. But yeah, unless we get a picture perfect setup here for PM, I'm gonna be very, very, very hands off. I mean, shit, this price action is not really the greatest. Looks like the 15-minute candle has swept the previous one. Yeah, literally. But even if we look at, I mean, shit, every time frame, really. The hourly, the last since 8 a.m., We've kind of been up and down on the hourly time frame. 15-minute has not been the, yes, we've been kind of trying to trade higher on NQ. ES is trying to trade lower. And this is where chop happens, right? This is, in my opinion, chop. We go up and down in fat ranges, but we don't really go anywhere. We just stay in a range. So this, for example, like for me, I am bear biased, right? So I'm gonna try to attempt to take a stab on the upper end of the range, given I am short biased. So this is why I was referring to. Unless we tap into that and we displace lower and get some sort of entry model, I'd be willing to take it. Otherwise, I'm cash sitting on sidelines. Scenario 2 is that we just displace and disrespect this 4-hour gap, create some sort of potential higher low into these relative equal highs up on ES, which is London high, which is prior day highs. So yeah, these two scenarios are kind of what I'm looking for, and more than anything, this one, right? So let's see. Yeah, I want to see this get hit first, and then before I even do anything. Very choppy. Yeah, it's not the greatest action. And I mean, what do you expect from a day? And this is I think where I went wrong. So in the morning, I took these two trades, right? I took a 15-minute, 30-minute. Start new. Forgot what time it was. It was around. So I took a stab here in the morning. I took it there, got tagged out, and then I took another stab short a little bit before this candle closed here. And the low-hanging fruit was discount of this range, right? Discount of this range, which was this swing low, right? Which I should have been targeting, but yeah, I just set my target. I guess I was too convicted on this low, which was, I guess, mistake number one. And yeah, I should have been targeting this low. Had I, it would have played out. It would have played out, and I would have walked away being up 0.5 R instead of being down 2 times in a row, right? So that's where the frustration came in, because I literally set the alerts and came back and yeah, just to see it tag me out. Let's see. Yeah, so it tagged me out, but both trades came off of the idea that price was essentially kind of bull flagging here. We traded into the hourly fair value gap, I think on the second trade. I believe so. And then the first trade was just a 30-minute, 15-minute. And during this time, I think ES was a little bit stronger. Yeah, ES traded a little higher. And so NQ was showing relative weakness. Now it's the other way around, right? But let's see. Yeah, so it took those two takes, and the second trade was 3.5 R essentially. First take was -1 R. But yeah, those were the two takes this morning. That was the same for me. Jake was in 2. I think it was L for him too. He was in what, shorts or longs? I peeped in. He was attempting longs early in the AM, right? That's what I normally do too, Lomeli. I just go for the low-hanging fruit immediately, low or high for full TP. Yeah, that's essentially, I think and I noticed this about myself when I go through a string of winning, I get a little too overconfident and I start kind of putting too much of a heavy I start trusting I start getting euphoric in terms of what my TP should be. And I guess that was today. Like I start getting too overconfident, which I'm like, if my full TP gets hit, it'll be essentially a quote unquote a big winner, right? I'll be up about 2R after taking a loss, but I wasn't accepting the low hanging fruit. And that was for me, I don't consider that tilt, but I just consider that a very an error on my end, which I need to, I guess I'm very what's the word? I understand that, I accept that. So coming into tomorrow and the following week, I need to make sure that I don't do that again and just stick to the basics, which I keep preaching, right? Stick to the basics, low hanging fruit, and that's what it is. What a day. Passed another eval, but hit daily draw, lost limit on 3 other accounts. So glad I set risks. Easy to go on tilt. Yeah, I agree, Jennifer. Maggie, Miggy. I agree. I think by doing so, you essentially make it impossible to kind of blow accounts. So, I mean, you did the right thing. That's what I do when market is ranging. If I do take a trade immediately, internal lows or highs within that swing. I see. Yeah, and I think my what I was anticipating from the market was not a range type of session. I was anticipating. I saw the sell-off in the morning, and that's partially what I was. And I guess I'm okay with it. I'm not here to say I could, shoulda, coulda, woulda. Right? I'm here to explain my thought process, and my thought process was seeing this whole dump here. Right? I was anticipating that this was somewhat of a bull flag and we would continue lower, right? This was some sort of pause to then continue us lower into sell side. And it was, I think, the right idea, just my execution wasn't really the greatest as far as just taking the low hanging fruit and being okay with it. I think had I not taken that first trade and taken this second trade, I think I for sure would have taken that low hanging fruit, which is what bums me out. Let's see, we are close to taking out that high. Yo, I'm at work every time you live, so I can't copy your trade. Do I have an option which reminds me as trade is on? Do I have an option which reminds me? Which remind is trade is on? What do you mean? Not sure I'm understanding that question. Yeah, first of all, you shouldn't copy trades. That's for sure. But if you do so, which I know it's inevitable, people are going to do so. I think, like I keep saying from day one, if you're going to take the wins, take the losses in the chin, right? If you're going to copy, take the wins, right? But also take the losses in the chin. At the end of the day, you are pressing the button, and that's what comes with it. Like, there's going to be no trader that does not take losses, right? And if they're selling you that idea, 80, 90, 100% hit rate, run. Literally run. Hey, Lomeli, still trying to learn at these lows. We had a SMT with ES, previous day lows. What gave you confidence to still look for shorts going against SMT? Thanks, man. Yeah, I think SMT or divergence, whatever you want to call it, is in place when it's with your draw. But for me, there is divergence at both highs and lows, right? So for me, I was willing to accept that price rebalanced on ES back into premium of this large leg, right? The premium. So that divergence down here was not invalidated, right? Because the trade was obviously red, but it led me to believe that price is now rebalanced and would now trade lower. And that was I guess the idea, right? the fact that we also had divergence up here, so that's not to ignore. But typically when we have divergence on both up and downside, we get stuck in this range and price is not as fluid, which clearly is what we saw. But given the 15-minute change in state, we traded to premium of this leg, right? ES was holding this bearish gap. My draw is lower, or was lower. And I was only targeting that low-hanging fruit, that swing low. We traded into this bearish 5-minute gap. We traded into premium of this leg. We had just taken out this swing high in premium and we displaced lower. I waited for the 15-minute to go invert, which was, or the 15-minute that went invert to come back and trade below it, just for an extra layer of confluence, I guess. And I took an entry here, right? To stop at the high, targeting these lows. And that was the overall trade thesis, right? Which ended up failing, but hope that answers your question. Now we have traded into that 4-hour gap here. What annoys me is that NQ follows the oil in the same direction. Appreciate the transparency and thought process. The whole explanation itself is some value. My guy, appreciate you, Methodic. No such thing as 100%. That's a red flag. If someone says so, either filter for fake gurus. Yeah, I genuinely, yeah. I think the more I get into this industry and just overall, I guess the more I get into trading, it's so easy to spot real traders versus fake traders. But it's you're being sold what you want to hear, which makes it kind of hard to accept. Caught along on that retest. Hell yeah. We're together in ups and downs too, Lomeli. Losses teach us, and with you, we are always with you in a win and loss. My guy, appreciate you. I used to copy trade Jake's until I realized I needed to understand why I was in a trade. I had to see the edge myself. If you just listen to someone else, you would never do it. Yeah, and I think that sometimes what you'll realize is, like, for example, like you said, Jake would be red, and you were like, I wanted to go long, but I took his trade, and now it fucks with you mentally, right? So I genuinely believe copy trading does not work. Why? Because I tried it early in my career. So we gotta, let's see. 4 hour, 1 hour. Got a 1 minute inversion here, which no, I'm not trading that. Let's see, premium discount. Where's premium of the leg? Okay, so discount would be this low. Let's title it discount PD array. We got divergence again at the highs. Right, we got yeah, we'll see if the NQ can get this change in state here on the 15-minute, which closes in the next 13 minutes or so. If we get a nice displacement to the downside, this would look interesting. Yeah, gonna pop the 15-minute up here. Not interested in taking anything on the 1 minute just yet. 5 minutes. What was that? Okay, that was a 5 minute. Let me delete this. Yeah, I'm gonna be very patient here, letting the 15-minute play out. Letting the 15-minute play out to see if we can catch a potential. If price can get fluid and displacive, I want to partake in it. If not, I don't want shit to do with it. But so far, looking good. I took a long entry on gold, hit my TP. NQ sucks right now. I agree, right, guy? NQ fucking. How to deal with risk management? I'm good with trading, but can't stop over trading or accepting a loss. Lost a few accounts that were up nicely. That's not a risk management problem. It's a mental problem, right? A lot of, yeah, the more I get into trading psychology, the more I realize that it's not a trading issue. It's a personal issue. So what is it for you? Do you not like being wrong in your day-to-day life? Do you notice that when you argue with people, you want to be right? Do you need to make money because you want to make it now? Like what is it really in life that is messing with you, or what is it that is reflecting into your trading, right? And for me, what I realized, it was wanting to make it now, right? And everything else I've done, I've adopted that mindset that hard work will get me there. Where in trading, hard work, sure, will get you there, but it's not in the context that you think it is. Like, more trading will not get you there. It's putting in the hard work outside of trading that will get you there, if that makes sense. Melly, but I love copying you. Don't stop us, please. I trust you and love the process. My guy, yeah, I mean, yeah, I'll keep doing what I'm doing. It's just, like I said, we've been on a hot streak, right? We've been fucking catching bangers, but just like they do happen, like red streaks are coming. Like, I'm telling you that red streaks are coming and they happen and they're part of the game. So just make sure you understand that. And that if you can take them in the chin as you are pushing the buttons, by all means, keep doing what you're doing. But I genuinely believe you shouldn't be copying. Be here to understand the thought process behind what it is that I'm doing. Robert, my guy, how's it going, brother? Brother, got to run to a meeting. Want to drop in, show some love. Let's go. My guy, Methodic, appreciate the love, my guy. Smack the likes, gents. Smack the like button, gang. Methodic is showing love and talking about rubbing. Oh, shit. What did he say? He said, got to rub to a meeting. Fucking Mitch. I look to sell on pullback and hold to make new lows. Rub and tug. Signing off a bit early, GP Smooth. My guy, Alex, appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you, my guy. Got to find the answer to that, I guess. Definitely seems like a behavioral issue. Just one more question. How much did you spend to get into the profitable stage? Bro, when I first started, I started the hard way, I think. I wasn't big into prop firms. I was doing everything self-funded on Thinkorswim and Interactive Brokers. So I would argue that I did it the fucking expensive way, right? I went through, I think, my first technically 3 years was literally just depositing money into Thinkorswim or Interactive Brokers just to fucking blow it. So for me, like, I still have the tax, I think I should have them. I still have the tax returns where I would just go do my taxes. And after I would do my whole taxes, then we would go into my trading stuff, which, I mean, yeah, I'm not gonna get too technical here, but those losses would roll over into write-offs into the next year. So I was just hoping that the next year I would get those write-offs, right? I think they max you out at, I think 3 or whatever it is, whatever the number is, right? A couple thousand. But yeah, after seeing the numbers at the end of the year and talking to the to my accountant, I was like, shit, it's low-key embarrassing. But I do think that with prop firms, if you play it right and you manage your spend, I think that you can you make it to where it's not that stressful on you. But then again, it's a double-edged sword, because I see traders now get into trading scared to lose a couple $100. They genuinely feel like they're getting attacked by a tiger mentally over losing an eval. And for me, I just don't understand that. Going great, my dude. Out of school now. I got my little trading buddy teaching him young. My guy. Out of school. What school do you go to, brother? Guys, good catch. Run later. Later, Methodic. Keep killing it, my guy. What's your thoughts on CFDs? Never trade them. Or never trade them. I've never traded them. Sorry. Yeah, it's 3. Okay, yeah, 3K a year. Brother, I'm with you, my guy. My first 3 years, you said 3K tax deduction, trading losses for the next 67 years. Yeah. So assuming, say you took you lost $10,000, you have 3K worth of, which isn't much, right? 3K worth of deductions for the next 3 years, and then 1K for the 4th year, I guess. But that's fun. Appreciate the transparency. Love from Stoke on Trent, my guy. Yeah, fuck yeah. Appreciate you for watching. Did you predict that move down this morning? Looks like it filled that huge gap from yesterday afternoon. Yeah. Or I wouldn't say predicted it, but that's what I was anticipating. But let's see. Yeah, when we got up here, I was preparing for shorts. I was waiting for a pullback in here. I went to go make coffee for literally like 7 minutes, and then we were down here. I'm like, all right, this isn't really like, you may look at this and say it's good price action, but I don't think it's good price action. I think it was just displacive. And unless you're on the 15-second chart, even like the 1 minute, again, the 1 minute had no entries. Unless you got in here, I think it was hard to catch. And even down here, we're way, in my opinion, way overextended. We had just sold off 700 points damn near. But I think it was hard to catch. I tried to catch this sell-off here, which I partially did, but I didn't exit accordingly. But yeah. So the 15-minute candle here closes in the next 3 minutes here. Here, let's close this. You know, technically for me, I always like to consider the change in state at the lowest down candle, which would be this one. But I know some people would consider this a change in state, which I guess technically it is, right? Because technically, if we're bullish, we should hold that last down candle before that move. But let's see how we trade here the next 2 minutes or so. Oh, your little dude out of school now. He's like, oh, okay, fire. I see. Fire. Hell yeah, Robert. Is that your oldest? Yeah, that shift went fast. Yeah, it doesn't look big, but the magnet is extremely volatile. Yeah, exactly. It doesn't. Here's the thing. It's like I said yesterday, I genuinely prefer markets that are or not markets. I prefer NQ being less displacive, if that makes sense. I find my groove a little bit better. My bias is still short. Still short. You're about to wait till Globex? Fire. What's Globex? Is that the new day opening gap essentially? Yeah, exactly. I think if we would have taken those lows, we should have done so already. The fact that we're staying in this range, not the greatest. So if the next, yeah, it's looking like it's not going to close underneath this. We'll run the giveaway here for the next 5 minutes and then collect the names, I guess, while we wait for price, because it's not doing shit and I don't want to take or partake in any of this. Globex. We all have different terminologies, brother. Like for me, I look at that. I'm aware how people call it. I call it a new week, or sorry, new day opening gap. What is Psych Slam down to yesterday? Yeah, I look for opportunities all around Asia. Hell yeah. No, if that works for you. For me, I noticed that I wouldn't say overwhelmed, but I guess I do better just trying to scale one session than trying to catch them all. But I agree though, like as of lately as well, like there's opportunities every session. Like this week, there's been plenty of opportunities during late Asia, early London, and over the last month or 2 months, Asia session has been pretty good. So I guess adjusting isn't being a futures trader, not knowing term Globex is wild to me. Hey, I'm sorry, brother. I'm sorry. Minutes. As long as you're making money, I don't give a fuck what a motherfucker calls it. Yeah, I noticed that shit. People worry about the wrong reasons. No offense, but like, so what if I call it a new day opening gap and you call it a Globex? And the only reason I started realizing people call it Globex is because I would pop into Azeng's stream and he calls it Globex. My overall background came from options. I traded options for, I guess, longer than futures as of now. And even then, like, I could give a shit what fucking, I mean, I had an idea what Greeks do, right? Gamma, theta, vega, and what is the other one? Delta. But do I technically know what each of them do? No, I just know that in the money, gamma accelerates, right? Is that what it is? And then theta is, your time decay but yeah, from like a fundamental level, do I care, give a shit how they move? Not really. I just have to know an understanding of what it is and how it works. Exactly. So long you can read price, that's what matters. How long you been trading for? About 6 years. I started 2019. Started my live account in 2020. And yeah, it's been at it since 6 years. Didn't know Globex till I met Alan. Yeah, every time I would pop in, he would have that yellow line calling it Globex. I was like, okay, fire. What's Globex? So I looked into it, and the new day opening gap, right? Which is literally this indicator here. That orange line, it's technically Globex. Okay, let's collect the names here, chat. Streamlabs. And run this giveaway while we wait for this setup to see if we get an entry. But I highly doubt it. Still going to stay on, see if we do. But let's see. Giveaways. Okay, let's giveaway is open now, chat, for 3 minutes. 3 minutes. It is open. Go ahead and enter this giveaway, chat, and we will run it. I'll run it. Yeah, maybe this is your time. What's it called? Temporary FS or FZ, sorry. Yeah, enter away, chat. Giveaway is happening. Another 2 minutes. Two more minutes, chat. Here we go. You guys have another 30 seconds, chat. 30 seconds, and we will run the giveaway. There's currently about 100 entries, and there's about 250 you guys in here. So I'm assuming 150 you guys won already. 15 seconds left. All right, so we will fucking palms red from pushing on the desk for 2 hours. All right, so the giveaway winner is, drum roll, pick a winner. Be Grateful 9. Are you in here? And have you won if you are in here? Motherfuckers be too quiet in chat till it's time for giveaways. If only everyone that enters the giveaway was always spamming chat, man, we'd be. Let's see. Be Grateful. Are you in here? Never won before? Fire. Congrats. So just DM me on Instagram at Lomeli Trades. Here's the link. Lomeli Trades, and I got you with the Tradeify 25K growth account after stream. Reminding everyone to be grateful, right? There we go. Yeah, just DM me on Instagram, brother. Yeah, of course. Of course. DM me on Instagram and I got you. 30 minutes left on today's stream, chat. Let's see if Price wants to give us something or just wants to do jack shit. Let's see. If you woke up with 10 toes, 10 fingers, and you're not in the hospital bed, you're blessed. Absolutely. I think so long you're healthy, health is number one, right? You want everything until you lose health. Once health is on the table, right, and you're dealing with something, then you realize how precious life is, right? So be grateful you're here, actually, probably on your phone on a $1,000 computer, right? We're fucking blessed. No matter how your day was, you're blessed regardless. That was like, so be grateful was the reason for that little pep talk. So shout out, guy. Just DM me and I got you. Now the giveaway's over, bro, when you don't have to worry about eval cost of pros. Now the giveaway's over, bro, when you don't have to worry about eval costs of pros. What do you mean? Like the pros and cons of not having to worry about the eval costs? Yeah, for sure. Be grateful. Got you. I wouldn't wish a stairs up and elevator down on my worst enemy. What's your name in the Discord, man? My name is Christian. I think it's Christian. Let me see. I should probably change it to Lomeli, but it's let's see. My first name, I know that for sure. It's Christian L, so no H on the Christian, so it's you searched oh, you searched up Lomeli? Yeah, I should probably change it, honestly. I'm thinking about changing it to Lomeli Trades. Let me see. Let's see if I can do that right now. I never did. Let me see. Disable. Not let's see. Settings. Account. Info. Edit profile. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do this afterwards. But yeah, it's Christian L. And I think it's like I'm under the RT Christian L on the Discord. Everybody would recognize it. Who's this guy, Christian? I know, right? I never participate, so I always count -1 for the giveaways. My guy, what a nice guy. I was able to get groceries today. You didn't know what you have until you're buying groceries, but the basic necessities become a blessing. People think they have it hard. Absolutely. Absolutely, yeah. Exactly. And I think my dad did a good job of instilling that in me growing up. He was like, motherfucker, you have it all. Like, right? Like, although we weren't by no means is my family wealthy, right? At all, right? But we had a house, we had a car, we had food. I was never hungry. And he made sure that I understood that every single fucking day. And I think that's where, I guess, not to toot my own horn, but that's what I feel like I have a good heart. I genuinely care for people, which bites me in the ass at times, right? But yeah, it's like shit like that makes me emotional. Like whenever I see people asking for food or like stuff that is a basic foundation that I genuinely kind of sometimes forget that is a blessing. It genuinely makes me emotional. Like every opportunity I can, I make sure I fulfill people's needs. Dude, if Jake's ever sick, you need to do an AM. Yeah, we've talked about it. So if that ever does happen, for sure. Imagine my grocery bill for a house of 4. Yeah, in today's economy, I wouldn't, at least 500 minimum, especially California. I mean, I don't know how it is in other states, but shit, just for myself, it's myself and my girlfriend is $300-400 when we get like meats. Yeah, sorry, that's what I meant. At the stage where I have to worry about eval costs, I feel like it has a negative impact, but you don't want to make. I see what you mean. Yeah, yes, and even then though, I think that those eval costs are not. They're not a. You shouldn't look at them once you buy them. Look at them as like, or at least how I would look at it was, like for example, back in the day. When I was just starting, I would deposit $1,000, $2,000 into an options account in Thinkorswim, where now I can literally deposit, quote unquote, right? Say $60 for an eval, right? And you break it, even if you break it down in 2 trades for your eval cost, that's $30 a trade, right? If I were to do that in the initial stages of my trading journey, that's $1,000 that I technically put aside for my trading journey. That's $30. That's a $30 risk that I'm taking. Now, if I pass it and I pay for the activation fee for whatever reason, right? Say all in, you're in $200 now. Essentially, do the same thing with it. I guess change your perspective on how you're viewing the cost. Just like Jake says, if you don't have the actual card, right? If it's not a debit card, I mean, sure you can use credit cards, but if you don't have the money in the debit cards, then it makes it that much more intense. It makes everything feel a lot more chaotic and a lot more harder on trade, because trading is already hard. Now if you put in you add in a layer of I guess you could say difficulty and put in like your own wants and needs and desires onto the market, it's just it's a formula for disaster, in my opinion. I think that you have to understand this, and not only understand it, but actually execute it, right? But I think that most people don't want to understand it. They want to pass it in the first try. Understand that passing an eval, like if you don't pass an eval in the first try and you have to rebuy, like it doesn't make you a bad trader. Same thing if you fail a funded, it doesn't make you a bad trader. It just means that you just keep on moving. My grandpa was a self-made millionaire and would always say to keep what you have, to keep what you have, you got to give it away. It's hard to find people that carry when the world has become cold. Stay humble, my friend. Yeah, absolutely. A motherfucker like me would be taking 50% of my girls buying me checks and using it for evals. My God, you're fucking cold, dog. Then she's over here calling her bank like, hey, what is Top Step? What is Alpha Futures? Man, if that's true, brother, fly. That's crazy. Passing evals and failing funding accounts and making a motherfucking tilt. Yeah. Like fake for a huge portion of childhood. I'm down around $750 over a 2-year period. Bro, that's nothing. Yeah, exactly. That's nothing. Keep going. Understand that trading is a business that it has costs, right? Just like any other business has expenses. Your trading expenses, especially in the developing stages, will be evals, will be blown accounts. The good thing about evals and prop firms is that you don't have to be. How do I word this? You don't have to be profitable for the whole year. Because if you catch a good streak in one account, right, for a whole 2 weeks, boom, you just got a 5K payout, right? And now you can use that as fuel for your other accounts, right? And maybe the next month you go through this downward spiral, but you manage your cost. Say you only lost 500 the next month. Then the following month, you do the same thing and boom, you got another 5K payout, right? I think reframing how you look at passing and failing accounts is how you should go about it. Hey, we're gonna get this money one way or another, and we'll get yeah. No, fuck yeah, 100%. If she's very, very supportive, like you got a real one. Got a real one for sure. We trade into this small little bearish 5-minute gap. We are now displacing lower. Candle. This is the first technically sell setup on the hourly here. That we're getting. We got just what I wanted to see, just no entry model, no real speed and displacement that I want to see. 15-minute. The next 15-minute closes here in the next 10 minutes. So we'll see how that next 15-minute candle closes. But yeah, probably going to be cash. Probably. We'll see how we displace. Stay dropping gems, Lomeli. My guy, RJV. You been at, brother? Lomeli gang, hope you're having a good day. Yeah, day's amazing, brother. Sheesh, I've been super hesitant to get into the trading community, but I'm seeing the benefits right now. People that talk about trading, much appreciate for answering. Yeah, I think for me personally, SG, it's finding the right community, because a lot of them are filled with a whole bunch of, honestly, what I realized is like the biggest creators tend to have the most sales, as far as like, and just being honest, they have the most sales, but they have the lower quality people in that community. Right? And this isn't me like trying to sell anything on Jake's Discord, but the community in there, although I was never really the most active, just seeing people talk about my issues. And whenever I had certain issues, I would DM the person, be like, hey, this and that, like what helped you? Or whenever I would see people get payouts or get big withdrawals, I'd be like, hey, what's the thing that helped you the most? And through that, you build relationships with people online, and top that up with going to the actual real events in person, and boom, now fast forward, you have a contact list of other traders all around the world that you can reach out to, right? And I think that's where the real benefit comes in. It's having the high quality people to talk to and bounce ideas back and forth. And when you're in a downtime, which will happen, us as traders will go through down periods, you kind of bounce off, or you kind of lean on your community. Right? Chop, chop, chop. Been away for 2 hours, haven't moved. Currently visiting moms in Vegas, been out here for the week. Bye. Have you been to the casino or no? Not yet. Yeah, genuinely, chat, like before I got this, because naturally I'm very introverted. Here's the thing, I'm very extroverted with, like I'm good, I wouldn't even say I'm good at talking to people, but whenever I'm in a social setting, I force myself to be social, right? And I'm not the worst at talking. So when I got this opportunity, I'm like, all right, before this, I was just by myself, literally talking to maybe 2-3 people on a consistent basis about trading. And now I went from doing that to now literally a couple hundred people tuning in every day, and kind of the same handful of people are showing up, which makes it feel, I don't know, it makes it feel like it doesn't feel real yet, because it's a number on a screen, right? There's currently 235 people. Yesterday at peak, we almost peaked at 400 concurrent viewers at once. the picture 400 people in front of me listening to me talk about a chart is still wild to me. But yeah, it is a very lonely job, especially during downtimes. The right community is a big key. That's why I have left and now rolling on my own, building my own community like Lomeli. What's your plan for this weekend? My plan for this weekend, I don't know. I don't know, honestly. Let me see. What's the date? I have New York coming up, so I'll be in New York soon. That's not until in 2 more weeks. So in 2 weeks, I'll be in New York for a week, and then I come back. Then I'll be in LA. I'll come back. Then I'll be in Virginia. Then I'll come back here for a couple weeks, and then I'll be in. Still haven't decided, but taking an extended stay somewhere outside the country. Yeah, like for example, like what Jake has built is amazing. It's crazy. Lonely at the top. Although my guy, bro, it feels like it's lonely and you're at the bottom. That's how I felt like in the initial journey. Felt lonely at the bottom, and I'm like, fuck. Hopefully it gets busy on the top. Shit, that's how I felt my first 2-3 years of trading. Sometimes I feel like I take a bad trade, I'm in a bad mood the rest of the day. Yeah, I think Jake said something that kind of hit me, which was he tries to not have people around him know whether he was red or green. And that really hit me because when I'm red, like I'm a little bit more agitated. I'm a little bit more on edge, right? Especially after maybe a string of red days or maybe a string of red, maybe after a red week over the weekend, I'm a little bit more agitated. You're so humble. Some people would say that if you don't have 100 viewers, you're a nobody. 100K viewers, you're a nobody. Yeah, it's crazy how that works, huh? What are you be doing in Virginia? Got some things to take care of in Virginia. Never been, but we'll only be there for literally like 2 days, I think. Yeah. Never been to Virginia. Have no interest of going, but I have to go take care of some things out there. Sounds like you're very busy, though. You're gonna make that video for. Thought you were gonna make that video for YouTube, brother. I still am. I got you. But yeah, bro, I often think about deleting IG because it just, bro. Honestly, before, you know what's funny, chat? Like when Jake. I would always. This is how I would go about my social media because I know it's not a good thing for. It's not a good thing consuming content every single day for the brain. It's just not good. So what I would do is I would go through strings of periods where I would just not be on any social media. And bro, the benefit that I would get from that is crazy. And then eventually when I started posting more over the last about a year now, or no, it's been what, since August, like 10 months or so, I would delete it, download for an hour every single day around like 5 p.m. And I would post my content and I would scroll. I would give myself time to scroll and come up with ideas and do the same thing the next day. But yeah, it's funny. Like when Jake first messaged me about the opportunity, it was on Instagram, and I had Instagram deleted for days. And fucking yeah, I got back to, I downloaded it a couple of days after, probably like a week after. I'm like, holy fuck, did I miss the opportunity? But then yeah, we reached out, and then I shot him a message on text message, and it eventually played out. Am I buying a farm in Virginia? Nah, none of that. I put so much pressure on myself to perform at an unrealistic level every day. Feels like I should have done better. Yeah, I think you're just being too hard on yourself. Understand that trading will never be perfect, and the fact that you're trying to be perfect is the issue. You're doing a good job as a streamer, though. Very sociable and responsive. My God, appreciate you, brother. That was my #1 concern, that people would actually fuck with me. Crazy as it sounds. And I'm not gonna lie, chat, like the first week of doing this, like I couldn't sleep. Genuinely couldn't sleep. I was overthinking everything. Like, fuck, what if people hate me? Because it's my first time doing something like this, which is very, I guess, a fair thoughts, I guess, you know? I was like, no, this is essentially what I wanted. It's here, now let's do the work. You pre-order the GTA 6? Nah. I hate video games. They make me anxious. They took back in this motherfucker sitting for the first time ever. Now the knee's actually getting better. It's just nothing I'm really interested in taking, so I figured I'd just sit down, sip on my Olipop, and chat up. Adrian, my guy, I had to learn how to play it out after a red session. I just go and play with the kids, forget quickly, and once I start feeling better, I sit back for the next session. Yeah, that's the best thing you can do, honestly. Literally, the first thing is shutting down your setup. Anything you do after that, make sure it's as far away as possible from your computer. You're doing very great, my guy. Thank you, Jay. You're doing a very fine job, my man. My guy. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate you, Lomeli. Great stream as always. Gotta walk the dog before it gets too hot. See you tomorrow. My guy, Adam. Appreciate you, brother. Bro, start playing NBA 2K and gets anxious on a wide open layup. Oh, shit. Bro, hops on Call of Duty at highs? Nah, none of that. I just feel like, even growing up, like, I don't know, my parents never really got me any video games growing up. And the first console I got was a PSP. And I would play that shit. I'm like, fuck this. I literally, kid you not making this shit up. I'd hop on my bike and go to the park. Bro said, that's hella funny. Bro hops on a Call of Duty and hides. Oh fuck! Just completely ignore the whole concept of what the game is, huh? NASDAQ going down. Yeah, it's going down, but it's not. Let me see. What is it? Oh, the 15-minute candle closed, huh? Yeah, let's see if we get some sort of small retracement here. Small retracement, maybe into this fair value gap. Took out discount of that range. We'll see. We'll see if we trade back into that 5-minute gap here. Yeah, if we do, we have to do that in the next couple minutes. Otherwise, it'd be too late into the session. Five-minute gap. Let's see. Nah, I'm fucking with you. I respect it. Yeah. PSP was way ahead of its time. My favorite handheld system. Yeah, you know what's funny? I've been trying to. It's sitting at my parents' house, and I just can't find the charger. But I had so many fucking games that I want to get it just so when I go on flights, I'm fucking with. It was Grand Theft Auto Vice City. I'll be fucking with that, and then I think I had like a couple racing games. Just got back while making Cheesecake Live. Jennifer, that'd be if I ever did that, it'd be probably on my own channel, but I doubt I'd ever do anything like that. Man, Cheesecake is fire though. I'm not gonna lie, chat. That cheesecake is fire. It literally has, fuck, if I were to take a guess, so it has a cup of Greek yogurt, a cup of cottage cheese, That's what, maybe 30 grams of protein there. Then 2 scoops of whey protein, that's 70 grams of protein. And then what else? 2 eggs. Each of them were like 6 grams. So we'll round up down to 80. And what else? So yeah, minimal calories and 80 grams of protein for a whole thing, which I don't eat the whole thing. Yesterday I had like 2 slices. Today for breakfast I had 1. You said, did you get the video clip of yesterday of Jake getting spooked and said the happy birthday? No, I didn't. I don't even know if he caught it. Where someone said, wish my sister a happy birthday. And it was like Joy Sohoto. And in Spanish it translates to I'm gay. But I don't know if he caught it or not. I was laughing. I had to type something. I was like, bro, they got you. Fucking chat. Yeah, it's funny. Like, I noticed some people on Jake's chat literally go in there just to troll. Like, I doubt they even trade. They literally go in there just with the overall objective of getting a reaction. It's fucking funny, man. Yeah, I heard that. Didn't catch that either, but funny to know. Yeah, I don't think you would have caught it if you're predominantly like a Spanish speaking guy or gal. Fucking chat, man. Fucking chat. So I mean, we called it out perfectly, right? We said, I said, if the short didn't play out here or wherever we took it, then we were more than likely going to do this. And it's nice to see it play out, but again, didn't really partake in it. So the entry. Yeah, maybe, I guess the only, decent setup here was perhaps this one, kind of anticipating that 15-minute closure under the change of state, which is here. Stop here. Targeting discount, which I'm not mad at all that I missed, given today's action. Be more happy sitting hands off than taking another loss. Yeah, we'll see how we retrace into this 5-minute gap here. How long have you been trading XCT? Let's see. I think for the last 2023, essentially around 2023, early 2023. So what is that now, like 3 years now? Before that, it was, and you know what's crazy, chat? Not much has changed with my trading style other than incorporating fair value gaps and I guess the overall terminology, fair value gaps, order blocks, and catching potential higher lows, potential in uptrends, potential lower highs and downtrends, and just finding the areas of interest just got, for me at least, a little bit more precise, and my targets got more methodical rather than being subjective. They had more of a reason, and they gave me more of like a, if this happens, then that. If it doesn't, then it tells me something. So much noise, and I think for some people that already truly know what they're doing, one of the best things they could do is detach from social media and let their process perform. I agree. You get to a point where trading's an interesting thing, chat, where you feel like there's something missing, when in reality what's missing is not a technical thing, it's a mental thing. A mental thing, maybe it's working on your mindfulness, which for me, I genuinely believe that for most traders, just working on mindfulness and learning how to bridge the gap between thoughts, right, or emotions and reactions would be the determining factor to get you to where you want. But people don't want to do that because it's hard. They don't want that being told to them because they're like, oh, it has to be something technical. Like, sure, you need edge. I agree. But I also think simultaneously you should be working on your mental game. Let's see. Do we catch a buzzer beater, chat, or not? Do we catch a buzzer beater? Yeah, let's see how we trade into this 5-minute gap here, and see how we react. The 30-minute seems like it's going to close in 5 minutes. So is the 15. Oh, the 15 is going to leave behind a small little 5-minute or 15-minute gap here in the next 5 minutes, which we have a order block there as well. We have an order block. We'll see if that fair value gap remains open here on the 15. And it aligns with that 5-minute gap. We have draws below us, so that'd be interesting for a little buzzer beater. Fair value gap. If not, staying hands off. So we rejected that order block here. Let's see, gonna give this another 4 minutes. The best news you can hear is that your mental game is the issue. That gives you the opportunity to know you have full control of the outcome. That should realistically be a relief for people. Yeah, I think for everyone watching, literally take a breath, no matter what part of the journey you're in. Maybe what I've noticed is that people get overconfident when they have a winning week, winning month, and they don't want that. They don't want that being told to them, right? They get overconfident. They're like, I got it. And then they go through the same cycle. They end up busting. They end up blowing their accounts, not getting the payouts, not getting withdrawals, right? And then they come back to the technicals and they're like, what's missing? All right, let's do it again. When in reality, they're not fixing the root of the issue. They're trying to slap a Band-Aid on it, but that's not the root of the issue. The root of the issue is you. Something outside in your life is making you take certain actions that are not aligned with your system. And that's the honest truth. And I think this is where, as a man, like, ego comes in, right? You think that your thoughts on what you think is wrong override what experienced traders tell you is going on, right? You're like, no, I got it. Like, I'm figure it out myself. Just coming in, you're bullish or bearish? I'm bearish. Bearish, Logie. G, facts. It's all in your head. Alex Guzman. Yeah, bro, it's all control. Facts. Facts, Alex. It's all a mind game at the end of the day. It's chess, not checkers, man. Let's see. We have a 15-minute gap here that is being created in the next 2 minutes. We have a 5-minute order block that we just tapped into. So maybe that's something like this. Right? Oops. Be willing to give that a shot if it happens. If it happens, it's looking like it's going to just displace lower here. There's a minute left on that 15-minute candle. Let's see. Minute left. What do you think? Let me see. What would you say for someone who's in that stage now where they don't want to blow any more evals? The best way to manage them, what would it be to just risk the same amount on every trade? Yeah, I would say set a budget, right? If you keep blowing evals, set a budget. Maybe you limit yourself to 5 trades a week, and you separate those 5 trades amongst 2 evals. Get like some alpha accounts, right? That are currently they're $40 for a 50K, right? Which is like the old top step. You limit yourself to $80 a week, right? And now the way you approach it is like, okay, maybe I take 3 trades on those 50Ks, and 3 trades on those 50Ks. So now you take the drawdown, 2,000 divided by 3. That's 6. What is that? About 650 or so. So now you give yourself, that's 6 trades for the week, right? You go into 1 session, 1 instrument, right? Oh no, that's without the activation fee. Yeah. So that's assuming you're gonna blow it. If you keep blowing them, right, you're only spending $40. Now, if you pass it, you make that investment of the activation fee. So what I would do is limit yourself to that. Now you only have 6 trades. Worst comes to worst, you put in $80, right? Best case scenario, you pass both of them, right? But go in with the idea that that spend is already out the window. And risk, yeah, exactly. Like you said, risk the same. Let's see. Let me look at price here. We just closed the 15-minute. You have a small little gap here on the 15-minute. Yeah, we'll see if we get that tap. If not, this is gonna dump. Into discount of the range, right? So I think there was a valid entry somewhere around this area, which I didn't take, which is okay. Now I'm trying to see if I can get the continuation into discount of the range. There's still 30 minutes left on the market, so that's what I'm looking at here. We have a small little 15-minute gap there, and 5-minute order block, and 1-minute order block as well. So if we trade back into that level and reject it and get an invert or a change of state, we have room down to discount. But if it doesn't happen within the next like 10 minutes or so, I'm all out, or I'm off. I keep losing money. Maybe I have to quit, or can I have you as my coach? I don't think bro, the thing is, like, I understand what that feels like. I understand how hopeless you feel, or not you specifically, but how I felt, right? Especially, I feel like social media is such a highlight reel where you go on it and everyone's winning. Everyone's fucking winning. And that gets to your head. And I think the realest shit Jake has ever said is, like, it's expected to take longer than you think it is, right? He's like, if you're 3-4 years in, good. Like, that's about the time where you should see momentum. And maybe momentum doesn't look like, oh, you're printing. No, momentum maybe just like you start understanding what things play out. Maybe your game plan starts aligning with what happens. That is true momentum. And just sticking to one thing. Maybe you stop deviating, strategy hopping. Maybe you stop moving your stop. Whatever it is, you're working on, making that mental the C game better. And your understanding is just getting better. Your read on the market's getting better. Let's see. You guys hear me, chat? Can you guys hear me? Yeah, okay. It was just saying OBS was reconnecting. But fuck, I lost my train of thought. Fuck yeah, I got a big ass OBS pop-up window. But let's see, what was I talking about? Shit, honestly, chat, I forgot what the fuck I was talking about. Stupid OBS. Yeah, I was talking about blowing accounts or some shit. Not blowing accounts. Yeah. Forgot the exact thing I was momentum. Oh yeah. So getting just overall better. Yeah, it's gonna take time, and you need to understand that. Not being so focused on social media. I think social media is good, but to an extent, right? Understand that social media is a highlight reel. Every single one of you guys watching, social media, people are showing you what they want to show you. Most people are not showing you the worst. They're downtimes, right? So it's understanding that every single real trader, right? And I'm assuming every single one of you guys watching wants to be a real trader making real money. If that's your objective, understand that what you're going through or what it is that you're gonna go through, people have gone through that. Now it's understanding and being okay with that's what you signed up for. Head down, get to work, and accepting that it comes with the game, right? Just like injuries come with playing any sort of professional sport, right? Losses come with trading, right? It's just part of the game. Let's see how we react here at these highs if we come back and take them. If not, I'm all done here. And give it another like couple minutes, see if we do. Managing losses 3 years in, getting better. Fuck yeah. I think for personally, like 3 years into one strategy, you should have a good foundation. Now from there on forward, I genuinely believe that if you put in the work, it's just a mental game. How you had felt when you checked everybody was winning on social media and you didn't? Bro, it was depressing, honestly. Depressing, but also kind of how I looked at it was like, if these people are making money, why can't I? Why can't I be a winning trader? Right? Why can't I have a platform? Right? I always had that mentality, and I always have this mentality, which is like, if others have done it in the space, like, you could do it too. Let's see, it looks like we're not going to go up to take out this high, which is okay, but do you have a specific checklist that you use? Yes. I mean, it's more of a mental checklist. Like, I'll wake up, right? Go outside. I'll take my dog out. I'll fucking lately, excuse me. Lately, I've been doing a cup of warm water with some lime, lime. And I'll sit outside for like 10-15 minutes, literally wake up mentally, and I'll recite my my trading rules. Essentially, I'll do it over and over again. And I'm just reading chat. Oh, what the fuck? You said, yeah. So I'll recite my rules, then I'll come in and chug a bottle of water, and literally do this every single morning. I do this every single morning for the last couple of years, and then I hop on the setup 30 minutes before market, set my game plan, go to the kitchen, make a coffee, come back right at market open, and yeah, that's literally what it is. Nothing special, but I do make sure that I recite those rules every single morning. Now, for a why can't I ain't nothing special about them. Very true. No offense. That's what I'd be saying about the dudes in the trade that I trade with in Discord. All dudes, and they just can do it. Why can't? Surround yourself with like-minded, goal-oriented people. Successful follow. No, facts for sure. like I saw a video. It's like if you hang around at a cologne shop all day, you're gonna walk out of there smelling like cologne. You hang around a smoke room all day, you're gonna come out smelling like fucking cigar, right? So your environment matters a lot. Mama says I'm special. I had a very good balance growing up. My mom was very like you're special, like you can do it all, and then my pops was like, no, you got to work for it. So that balance was, in my opinion, very, in hindsight, right? My dad being very, very hard and my mom being very soft was a perfect balance. In hindsight, of course. Yeah, share your rules. So it's anything can happen. These are the things I recite myself. Anything can happen. You don't even know what's going to happen next to make money. There's a random distribution between wins and losses to define an edge. All an edge is the higher likelihood of one thing happening over another, and every moment of the market is unique. Then I'm objective with my edge. I predefine my risk. I fully accept the risk or let the trade go. I never hesitate. I pay myself as the market provides. I monitor my susceptibility to errors, and I never violate these. So it's 5 rules and then 7 rules, and I repeat that over and over again for like 5 minutes. And just trying to have that be part of my identity. That's the key. You gotta make my coffee earlier so I don't miss it. Jennifer, I'm with you. That shit happened. It's happened to me so many times, and the times that it does happen, it's an entry where it would have played out. I'll take notes. Can you set it in chat? Can you drop a screenshot, please? Good stuff. I need those. Shit. Yeah, I made a video on it actually. On my Instagram, which did I actually? I think I made a video. I'll post it on my story. Let me see, just to make sure I made a video. I'll post it on my story. Let me see. Let me check chat. Let me check. This was like the first video I ever did with Jake, and that was the #1 requested thing on chat that day. Let me see. Let me make sure it's on there. 6-5. I think it's this one. There we go. There we go. All right, so I'm posting it on my story, chat. That's requested. Okay, posted on my story, chat. So at Lomeli Trades, you'll see my what I just talked about right now. That way I don't have to post it here on let's see. But yeah, how long? Let's see. Can you check what's your Insta? It's at Lomeli Trade. So it's at Lomeli. Here, I just put the link up above or below, I guess. 6-5. There you go. It's up on my Instagram story. So you guys can go check it out. And just drop a follow, man. Are you taking this trade or an idea? Let's see. There's 17 minutes left on the market. I'd be willing to try it. It just has to happen now before 12:50. Has to happen now. Before it happens, let me take a quick leak, chat. Be right. Give me a minute. All right, I'm back. Let's see. Yeah, so I just posted it on my story if you guys want to go check it out. But honestly, gonna be done for. Let's see if we get a tap here now. Yeah, I'll stay on just in case we get it. Just in case we get it. But I think the 12 what people call MOC is gonna make us dump. Or we'll see how it is. But yeah, it's nice to see this play out. It literally played off that 1 minute invert. And we are now trading down into discount of the range. So it's nice to see it play out. I took a stab here, which got stopped out. First red trade of the week on PM. Where was the trade? I took it here, I believe. Top here. I believe targeting the same level. It was like, yeah, it's targeting the same level, which didn't hit. And I mentioned that once this level got taken, we should reverse if we're still bearish, and which we did. The only entry that I see was possible. Even then, though, nah, it closed up above. No, I don't think there was any good trade opportunities here in this move down. Is this? Yeah, it was a weird session. In my opinion, I don't think there was any, per se, very high quality setups. I'm gonna go outside, see how the sun feels. PA's trash, I agree. Yeah, that's it for me, chat. Too much focus on profits had you make an emotional decision for the risk management decision. I agree. Fuck yeah. Perfectly said. Perfectly said, Mitch. Yeah, that's it for me. Like, good night. Good night. Yeah. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Wrong will be on here in the next couple hours. Stay tuned for Wrong. Wrong G, the Asia session GOAT. Thanks for the advice. So yeah, that's what I'm here for. Slower sessions brings more yak. So hope you guys like this. Peace. Deuces, everyone. Stay tuned for tomorrow. Same time, 1:30 p.m. Eastern. We'll see if we can catch some bangers coming into, oh shit, it's Friday. Let's see what we can do tomorrow. Peace. Adrian, my guy. See you later, brother. Later, big dog. My guy, Rod guy. Appreciate you, brother. Be creative, my guy. Great talk. Thanks, Lomeli. Vivita. Appreciate you. Yeah, love you guys, chat. See you guys tomorrow.